everybody, and welcome to Random Number Generation. I'm your host, Skybilz, and this is episode 19, Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix, with Kasa and Kai as our runners and Ninten and Honey on comms. So, real quick, a few GDQ housekeeping things. Remember, Random Number Generation, as well as the other GDQ Hotfix programming, is brought to you by viewers like you. If you would like to support the stream, as well as the other programs on GDQ Hotfix, please consider subbing to the channel. If you have Amazon Prime, remember, you do have a Twitch Prime sub. Please consider using that if you have not already to sub and support the channel. Real quick, tomorrow we're going to be having Mercy Kill. That is the other show that I typically host. Join us as the Dragon Feeny runs A Link to the Past for the first time in quite a few years. Very much looking forward to having the timer versus Feeny. Who will emerge victorious there? You'll find out tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern for that. SGDQ 2020 online games list and schedules out. Go to GamesDoneQuick.com for more info on SGDQ 2020 online. If you're interested in other Hotfix shows, you can head over to GamesDoneQuick.com/Hotfix to submit games or ideas for upcoming shows. With that, hello everybody. How are y'all doing today?
I'm doing pretty well. How about you?
Doing good.
Not bad.
Not bad?
Not bad.
So here we have Kasa and Kai are going to be running. Now, we will bring them into the voice channel gradually, but the commentators want to be able to talk about spoilers. So we're only going to be hearing from one runner at a time occasionally. And we're going to strategically try to pick those moments. So without further ado, runners, are you all ready to go? Everything all set?
Yep. All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
Go. Good luck and have fun, runners.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, so let's get started on the most basic question we have here at RNG. What is randomized in this randomizer? I haven't seen Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix randomizer prior to today, so I'm excited to hear what is randomized within this game. And also, what is no ASDF? Of course, we have no Atlantica. That means we will not be seeing the stage Atlantica. But what does no ASDF mean? And what is randomized within this?
So ASDF means absent silhouettes and data fights. So they're basically like really difficult versions of the organization, and those are not in this randomizer. But everything that is randomized is abilities, items such as keyblades, and like a P boost, like stat boost, like strength boost, magic boost, defense boost, armor, like a ribbon. That's like the best armor you can get. Other really good accessories like the cosmic arts can give you a lot of magic and strength. Drive forms are randomized. Magic is randomized, so you start with pretty much nothing. You could have no abilities at the start. Whatever abilities you start with is random.
The one thing we do have is the 7 critical checks.
Yes.
So because we're playing in critical mode, you normally start off with extra AP and extra skills, but all of those are randomized as well. So they could be items, they could be potions, they could be abilities, they could be keyblades, they could be armor, it could be almost anything.
So real quick before our runners leave the channel, Kai and Kasa, would you both introduce yourselves so people know where to find you? And then as soon as we're done, talking about whatever y'all want to, we'll move you into a separate channel so we can start talking some spoilers.
All right, so I'm KaiBlade13. Oh, sorry. Did you want
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. So I'm KaiBlade13. Mainly I speedrun the first Kingdom Hearts game, but I also do Kingdom Hearts 2 randos over on my Twitch channel. I'm just happy to be here. I'm glad that you guys have me here. And yeah, so I've done a lot of randos in the past, so I'm always looking for new opportunities to race new people.
It's Kasa. I've actually speedrun other Kingdom Hearts games such as 1, 2, and I predominantly did Ventus Critical from Birth by Sleep. If you remember me, I was actually one of the commentators for the showcasing back, I think in GDQ 2018 or 2017. I haven't done much with Birth by Sleep. However, I have a huge love for the rando and the community, and that's what's keeping me running this rando.
All right, well, thank you both for running. Hopefully, may the RNG be in your favor here. And as soon as we get you all out of here, I know Honey and Nintendo are dying to talk about some of the stuff that's going on both screens right now. All right, both runners are out of the room. Go ahead. Let's talk about what's going on so far.
So, immediately we've got two different decisions here. We've got Casa heading into Disney Castle, which is a pretty frequent check because there are a hell of a lot of chests right at the start. A little bit of XP boosting you can do just after this next room Casa's about to enter. And it's a relatively simple start that doesn't actually require many strategies to get past. You don't need many items or abilities.
Yeah, so like right at the start here, when you don't have like any abilities or like good stats or anything, you want to try to get the easiest checks that you don't actually need to like have abilities or stats for. So like escorts, you don't need anything particular for it. You can just do the escorts like without anything.
Although it appears Casa has decided to actually dip from the escort. Kai's strategy is a bit different. He's headed into Halloween Town. Normally this world is very tough at level 1 with nothing to do. Like, you don't have any abilities to get you by. But as you've just seen, Jack has a limit, which is it spends all of your mana to give you basically a special attack. And this will just carry you through these fights and give you between 5 and 7 levels, depending on how many you killed beforehand. So it's a very, very quick start. Lots of items to pick up from chests and lots of levels.
You can see their auto level ups covering the screen because he leveled up a couple times just from that one enemy.
This is going to be another 2 level ups or so. He also acquired the ethers from Jack, which is another thing people forget sometimes. You can steal your party members' items to give you a bit of an extra head start in some worlds.
Yep. Looks like Casa's at the beginning of Auto Bastion. So that fight, he actually ended up dying, but that's one of the fights in the game that you can die to and the story still progresses. So he lost out on EXP from killing the Dusks, but he can still keep going.
There's only 5 or 6 enemies there, is it? So it's not a huge loss, but
yeah, it's not that big of a deal.
Something. We've also got 2 very different Keyblades picked up right now, but we do have the random abilities on, so... And a Keyblade normally, for example, that Casa has is Oblivion, would have Drive Boost on it. That's not going to be the case anymore, because all of those have been swapped around. Not that we can actually tell what he's got on, because I didn't see him equip it. Oh, and we've just got enough first proof, yep. So
Kai...
Yep, go.
Yeah, so Kai, he found the first proof, and he just needs to find 2 more, and the Promise Charm to finish the game.
Even if he didn't, he could admit the Promise Charm if he wanted to, and just go through the final fights. It depends on whether he finds it or thinks it's worth the time investment.
Actually, we haven't explained the Promise Charm, have we?
It's been explained before, but not to this one, so no.
Yeah. So the Promise Charm will basically allow him to skip all of the organization from Roxas fight onwards to Xemnas, the first Xemnas fight. So it skips all of the War there Never Was and just takes you straight to after the first Xemnas fight. So it's really a huge time save, and you also get Boki Avengers, which give you a lot of EXP. So it's really, really good to have that before finishing the game.
So it looks like we've got both players in Agrabah at the moment, which again is a very chest-heavy world. As you can see, Kai going through them all now. It's a bit of a rough world to get through to the end, because there's a few segments which are very, very hard if you don't have the right tools, but most people will come in here, grab all the initial checks, and then find another place to be. Just start keeping an eye on what they're doing. This is going to be like the interim of when there's not a whole lot going on. It's kind of hard to...
Yeah, one thing to mention is that Kai has a quick run, which is a really good movement ability, and that speeds up like traversing everywhere really well, because Casa has to walk around. I don't think he has the growth ability right now. There's like quick run, dodge, roll, glide, aerial dodges are all really good movement abilities that speed up walking everywhere. So Kai's on a good start with that.
That's going to be very helpful for him. He also just saw him take all of the potions away from Aladdin, and that's kind of a very typical speedrun strategy, but Here we just want as many resources as we can get, really. And then this next room is a hell of a lot of chests as well, so you'll see him go through and pick everyone up.
One other thing to mention is that if you look at their HP, it's at as small as it can be. So you're not supposed to have your HP be that small when you're entering this part of the game usually. So like, there you can die very easy. See, he almost died from one hit on that guy, from that silver rock. So it looks like Kai's going backwards.
I think he was room saving so that he didn't die and lose his his chest.
Did all of the maps get removed from the treasure chest?
No.
The map still exists within the item pool. Okay. It's just like all the chests are randomized, so you can get anything from any chest pretty much.
Okay.
Like you could find the Agrabah map in Halloween Town or Port Royal or any of those places. It's just another aspect of like maps are often not even looked at anyway for most people. I know some people like them, but it's one of those things. They're kind of anywhere you could be, you know.
Yeah, usually like in the rando, items that you don't want to see are like maps and synth items because they're not very useful for the run.
There is a time when synth items are fine, because if you get enough of them, you talk to the Moogle shop and you can get like an elixir and a couple of other items that can be helpful for endgame if you want them. And if you get enough synth materials, you can make some of the better endgame equipment.
Yeah.
If you find the right recipe, and that's a death right there. Ooh. Those mages are really nasty. Like they will chase you down and shoot blizzards at you from across the map.
Yeah, so this room in particular is like one of the harder rooms in Rando because people tend to go here early since there's so many chests, but you can get one shot by a lot of enemies here, and they're really hard to avoid, especially if you don't have like a reflect or a guard or anything like that.
It is worth noting, a couple people were asking this in chat. They said, so this is with Atlantica completely randomized out. Yes, because there are so many specific requirements to advance through Atlantica that a lot of runners appear to prefer to not have it in there. The same is to be said, we will not be seeing any of the gummy ship either, and that's just in general with this randomizer.
Yeah, because the central hub is the Garden of Assemblage, there's no need for gummies, and it makes it a lot more fun, IMO.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to do gummy missions every time I wanted to check a new world.
Yeah.
So this is probably where Kai's going to end his experience in Agrabah. There's no reason to go through this next section with the small amount of items he's picked up so far. The next two checks are a couple of chests at the bottom and then quite a hard fight. So we're likely just to see him turn around here and leave. There he goes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then Casa went over to the World That Never Was just to check the chest right before Roxas, but he's definitely not equipped to fight Roxas right now.
No, although there are many ways to fight that boss. A lot of people have trouble with it when they first play the game, but the more randos you watch, the more you'll see people find these funky ways of finding their way past bosses, which you normally wouldn't actually be able to fight very easily. It's good fun, honestly.
Yeah, there's actually like really easy, I call them cheese strats that you can do on fights like Roxas and like some of the organization fights that you might see in the rando today.
There are so many people disappointed in chat that there's no Finny fun today.
I don't think the runners are as disappointed as the chat are. I respect that.
I've seen Finny fun way too many times now.
It's just one of those checks that you can never really like be sure are easily accessible. Having to find 3 thunders is never an easy feat. We've also got Casa heading into Halloween Town now, so see if he bothers getting XP here. We've kind of had both the runners reverse their strategies now.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. They both went to the same places, essentially.
The first checks in Hollow Bastion are very quick. There's several chests, and then the 2 checks from Sid, which are worth picking up when you've got not much going on.
So if Casa keeps going until Sanitas, he'll be able to find the proof that Kai got.
Yeah, that'll put them at even footing.
Mm-hmm.
We've also had Casa actually check the first Winnie the Pooh page as well, so...
I think they both did that at the start, but I don't remember.
Kai hasn't got it on his tracker, so...
Oh, okay.
But we have got one Wisdom form on Kai's side, and we haven't got any drives on Casa's side yet. So that's going to be where like a lot of fights are made easier by having these forms. The big ones we're looking for a limit form and final form, and master form for the odd fight, but they're the two that people prefer to have.
Yeah, and just to clarify again, in order to finish the game, you need to get all 3 proofs. They are just random items you can get from a fight or from a chest, or from just like any part of the game that would give you an item. So like at the end of beta, he could get a proof here. It doesn't matter where it is. And after you get all 3 proofs, the non-existence, the mushroom one, proof of peace, and the other one, I forgot the name.
The proof of connection, the proof of peace,
yes.
and the proof of non-existence.
Yes, thank you. After we get all those, then you can either go to the world that never was and finish the game from there, or if you find the promise charm, you'll be taken to the Station of Awakening, and then from there you can go to the final fights. You can skip the world that never was.
It's one of those things that a lot of runners at the moment who are playing the randomizer really do not like using the promise charm as often, because it makes the games faster, sure, but a lot of players really like to show off their skills sometimes. So as it gets more competitive, more of the easier things are being rooted out for at least the more experienced players. But within the Discord itself, we've always got more races going on that are for newer players to learn and experience the randomizer themselves.
Yeah, that is a really nice thing about this randomizer, is that you don't need to know how to speedrun the game by any means to get into the rando. You can be a super casual player and still have a lot of fun with the randomizer. And they're playing on critical mode, but you can even do a beginner mode randomizer to make the game way easier.
There has been some changes to beginner mode, minor changes to make it easier for players as well. Like normally, as I mentioned earlier, you start with a lot more AP in critical mode, which makes equipping all the abilities you get much easier. However, in any mode below critical mode, it's implemented that you start with 48 AP boosts, which is a lot of AP boosts to spam through, but it allows you to kind of put yourself on an even footing with a critical run.
Right, and right there, Casa got the proof in Halloween Town, so now they're even on proofs.
He's heading straight into Olympus Coliseum.
Oh, okay.
Which is another area with a lot of chests, but it's another one of those areas where you can only really make it through the first 30% of the first area before you actually start to struggle.
Yeah. If you want, so like some runners will go to the very beginning of a world and just grab all the chests and then leave and do that for every world, because the very first room of each world doesn't usually have like any enemies or anything, so you're able to get those checks real fast and then leave without having to go through any fights. So right here, Casa may opt to leave after getting the chest here, but we'll see. Olympus is pretty hard. Haze Escape is the fight you have to do first, and that's really difficult without leveling up first.
Especially because even if you've got the you could find the is it the Olympus Stone that allows you to use drive gauge in Underworld? You could find that early, but the game still won't let you use a drive form underground. And as we just saw there, actually, Casa found a negative combo from a chest. Negative combo is one of the integral abilities that people will use to get past fights like Roxas with very little difficulty. Including actually like things like Lingering Will, which is actually on in the seed. Lingering Will is accessible and will have items behind it. But whether any of our runners decide to go after it is going to be another question.
I do believe the only the proof of non-existence can be behind Lingering Will. Right?
Exactly. Yeah. Only the proof of non-existence, because you need the proof of connection to open the door to Terror or to Lingering Will. And you need the proof of peace to be able to talk to the mushrooms. So in order to stop the game from soft locking, the people who coded the game have made it so specific checks cannot be behind areas which would lock you out of completing the game.
Yeah, so we won't see like torn pages in 100 Acre Wood, and we won't see growth abilities in Cavern of Remembrance and stuff like that.
We have a question real quick from the chat. Is the level up and drive level up rewards randomized as well? I know that is an option on this mod or randomizer.
Yes, they are. Every single level that would give you an ability or something or an item is randomized, and every single drive level is randomized. And within those levels, again, you could find yourself picking up a Keyblade from leveling up. You could find yourself getting a potion or a ribbon or something. Exactly the same for drive forms. So
yeah, and so drive forms, they level up via different methods. So the longest one to level up is probably Vader form, which you need to get. But it levels up from getting hits. So you need to find. Most people do it on the mushroom in Agrabah, which you unlock after beating the world. But limit form is also really long because you need to use limits to level it up. Quick ones are like master form. You can level that up in a few spots really easily. So people usually wait until the very ending to level up some forms.
Although another thing the randomizer does allow you to do is speed up those driver levelings. Like you can implement between 1 and 5 times experience boost. So if leveling drives isn't your thing, you can absolutely take that up. It's a very customizable system for making randomized seeds. It makes it very, very open to any level of player. You can take away the absent silhouettes, you can take away the datas. You say you don't like going to a certain world, you can turn those off or replace them with useless items and still get their good items through other checks. So it's open to any level of player, which is super nice, honestly.
Yeah.
They've got Casa in Twilight Town right now, which is one of those checks which a lot of people don't do straight away because the chests are in a bit of annoying locations, and without drive abilities to get up to those easily, you might waste time running around and you can't leave until you complete it. So
is Space Paranoids only accessible through Hollow Bastion?
No.
Okay.
You can access it in the Garden of Assemblage. It is the little underground staircase that you see. Yeah.
Everywhere in the world, everywhere in the game is accessible through the Garden of Assemblage.
Okay.
You have the 13 doors around which lead to all the worlds. You have the entrance into the Garden of Assemblage from Cavern of Remembrance, which takes you to Winnie the Pooh. And you have the exit, which would normally take you into back into Hollow Bastion, which takes you to Space Paranoids.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting, because I saw where Kai was in Hollow Bastion right next to where the computer would take you into Space Paranoids, and then Kai left that. So I was wondering, I'm like, is there some kind of passage between that and Space Paranoids? It's just something I was thinking of.
Yeah, so I believe he left because he didn't want to do the corridor fight, which is a pretty high level. Like, you're supposed to be in Hollow Bastion at that point pretty late in the game, so he didn't want to do that just yet. Plus, there's not many checks behind those fights anyway.
Yeah, the checks between Hollow Bastion 2 and the corridor fight are many, but the moment you get out of that, you've only got hard fights and the Cavern of Remembrance, which he doesn't have the form abilities to check yet.
That's a good question. Do y'all think it's possible to randomize mobs and bosses within this game?
That is being worked on. We've got a couple of the creators of the mod in our Discord server who are working on randomizing enemies, but the issue at the moment is the game only has a very specific amount of RAM it can allocate to setting enemies into a zone. And currently, placing an enemy that takes up too much of that is crashing the game to the point where you can't actually play it anymore. So we've got 2 or 3 people working diligently to try and get that sorted.
Yep. So Kasa's been in this station fight. This fight can actually end from either getting 100 hits on the nobodies, from dying, or from timing out. I believe Casa just timed out. It takes about 1.5 minutes, so he was fighting it out to get the EXP, and I think he got a few levels from it.
It's a very good place to start. If you've got Final Form, for example, a lot of people use it in that fight because you can get a hell of a lot of nobody kills very, very quickly.
Yeah, Final Form levels up from nobody kills. Kai's about to enter Thresholder. He should be able to handle it just fine right now, I believe.
It can be a bit of a scary fight, but he has got Mickey to back him up if he needs it.
Yeah, so there are a few fights in this game, a couple fights that you can get Mickey on, and the first time you die, Mickey is guaranteed, but then every time you die afterwards, it is less of a chance to get Mickey. So I think the first time is like 100%, then the next time is like 80%, and then 60%, and so on.
You can get him multiple times back to back if that occurred in a game. So
yeah, if you get lucky. Ooh, Sukai got Glide. I mean, Casa, sorry.
He's also got 2 finishing pluses right now, which is it's a lot of damage. And there's our first death to Thresholder, at least. And here's Mickey. So Mickey, when you can either select to take him or just lose the fight and reset back outside of the room. But the options with Mickey are basically to do as much damage as you can, and then if you run out of HP, he'll just potion Sora. If you fully charge his drive gauge to 3, you can fully heal Sora. So it's a 50% heal or a 100% heal, depending on which route you decide to take or how much damage he takes naturally.
Right, and Casa actually used Wisdom Form right here in the tower, and that was a really smart move because he's able to kill all of the shadows here, and they're the weakest Heartless in the game right now, and Wisdom Form levels up from Heartless kills. So he got level 2 Wisdom, but he got the first success rate in the game, the Medal, which only gives 1 strength, so it wasn't a great check, but maybe level 3 has something.
One of the really fun things about the Randomizer, in my opinion, especially with randomized Keyblades, is Casa here has got the Sweet Memories Keyblade, which isn't very often used. It's got a minimal strength out of 0, which is fantastic. And is it Magic 5, Nintendo?
I don't remember exactly.
I think it's Magic 5.
Yeah.
Very, very strong Magic Keyblade, but its reach is horrible. You don't really use it by the time you get it. There are other better Keyblades, but these Keyblades can have any ability on them, except activated abilities. So nothing like Finishing Leap or anything that requires you to press a button to activate it.
Yep.
So a lot of the minigames are still left in as well, so we're going to see Kai do those now.
Mm-hmm.
So would y'all like to plug some of the people who are responsible for the creation of this randomizer?
Yeah, so there are multiple people who worked originally on the randomizer. You've got Bizkit, who I can't remember the numbers at the end of his name. It's
047.
Yeah, 047.
Yeah.
Bizkit 047 originally started working on it. You then had another person by the name of Sonic Shadow Silver 2, who helped with a lot of the randomization, the finding the item codes, and making the Garden of Assemblage mod. Valaxa on, I think Valaxa _ is the name he uses on Twitch at least, and Twitter, made the randomizer website, which is how we all generate our seats so we can actually race. A person by the name of Nakshi made a lot of the various texture mods that we've been using for. That's another thing we might want to mention actually, is there are Keyblades in the game which aren't normally in the base game, but they're in the code. So because they're in the code, we can just kind of take them and use them as we need them. But they don't have any textures, they don't have a skin to them. So we've had to have Nakshi who made those, as well as the symbols on the front of the Organization 13 doors that you see on both screens when they're back in the Garden of Assemblage. And Dessa what number's in his name? I should know this. Dessa3579 also helps with the randomization and placements of things. Have I missed anyone?
I don't believe so, but I know a lot of people worked on it, like here and there, so it's kind of hard to remember everyone.
Those are the big names that still work on it, but there's been a big handful of people. The community are always helping each other. Like the trackers that you see being used are all community made. You can see that they're both actually using different trackers because people like different styles. So people are making new stuff within the community all the time.
Yeah.
And the randomizer is evolving every single day, so it's a really fun experience to be there and be part of that.
Oh yeah, it's way different now than when I first started with it. They've made a lot of progress. So Kai, I believe, okay, he's gonna finish off Beast Castle here, I think. Sometimes a lot of runners will opt to not finish off the final boss of a world, like when they first get there, because you could just leave and get chests somewhere else and then fight the boss when you're a higher level or have more items and abilities. But looks like Kai's gonna finish off the boss right now.
Beast is a very big help in fighting Darkthorn here. Beast's limit is, in fact, every limit in the game, barring Jack Sparrow's, are very, very strong limits that can be used in fights to accelerate the speed in which you beat them. We'll see if Kai opts to use them in this fight.
Yeah, a lot of party member limits are actually pretty good. Beast isn't that bad at all.
With enough stat boosts, Beasts can one-shot the second phase of Darkthorn, which is very, very useful.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, you can completely kill it with the either before or after the scream, so it's a useful one.
Also, for those who would like it, !RNG will give you the Discord link for Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix Randomizer. So if anyone wants to get involved in the community, play the randomizer, a lot of the information you need will be in that link.
Yep, and everyone is super friendly and welcoming to everyone.
We've got several channels for people who want help in finding their way onto the randomizer, but we can't supply certain things, of course, so a lot of people are going to have to go find things on their own, but if you need help setting up, then we've got several people who will be willing to do that. It's a very nice community so far. It's going pretty well, I have to say.
Oh yeah, sure. So Kai over here on Darkthorn. Something we didn't mention is that they don't have scan, so you can't see how much damage you're doing. I think Kai should be doing a pretty decent amount of damage right now, but the stat increases that you get from each level are randomized as well, so you could just get a bunch of defense and be really weak, or you could get a lot of strength and your magic is really weak. I think people usually want to have magic builds because magic is really strong in this game.
Magic is far stronger than physical abilities for the most part. Yeah. Especially the magic finishes, like Explosion is so much stronger than Guard Break.
Ooh, we got a Blizzard.
Blizzard's a very, very good spell. It's going to allow him to just walk through Port Royal without any effort.
Yeah,
there are certain spells.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, there are certain spells that will just allow you to complete a world with no other, like, strength or magic attributes that you need. You just need that one spell.
Yep. So most people tend to wait on Port Royal until they have a Blizzard. Looks like he's going to 100 Acre. I guess he got a turn page.
If he hasn't been yet...
yeah,
it doesn't look he...
Okay.
Yeah, he doesn't have a torn page either. A lot of people will wait for either 1 or 4 torn pages to enter 100 Acre Wood, because the minigames, like doing them one by one, is better if you have more choice, if you can pick up more checks in one. But if you have 1 torn page, you can come in and immediately get 6 chests instead of just the 3. So it's something that people kind of leave to later or do immediately. It's down to the runner's preference. There aren't many like set in stone perfect ways to play the randomizer right now, so you'll see people doing all sorts of crazy starts.
Yeah, that's the thing is that some people usually have their set pattern, like they'll go to the same world every randomizer, but after the first world, depending on where you get there, it can make a big difference on what you do afterwards.
And that's another reason that a lot of people pick up as many early checks as they can. Is the more checks you find early, the more you can route yourself through different areas and find your way through harder levels and harder worlds you wouldn't normally be able to do without.
All right, Kai, we're gonna.
I assume we're bringing Kai in now, so.
I believe so. Oh, so Kai is going to Port Royal.
I guess you just wanted to check those that first poo page.
Okay, I am back. We're going to bring Kai up here in a second. We just wanted to talk through the thought process and everything there involved. So, Kai, welcome. It's nice to see you. How's it going so far?
Nice to see you. Things are going pretty well. I found a proof pretty early, so that was fun.
Yeah, that was like your first world.
Yeah, that was. At first, I thought this seed was just gonna be AP boost because there was 2 in the first room and then 1 right after I entered my first world, which was funny. But yeah, the seed is going pretty smooth. It's pretty steady. Nothing like crazy amazing in some of these early worlds, but got the proof and I got the ultimate weapon, so those will definitely help out.
Yeah,
I
noticed
quite a few
that.
magics as well.
I noticed the ultimate weapon. How big of a deal is that to find that this early on in the randomizer?
Well, for the type of seed we're doing right now, it does depend because... Oh, I just died. Because, it can have pretty much any support ability in the game on it. So it could have second chance, which is like super helpful. It could have experience boost. In this case, it has air combo plus, which I'm kind of neutral on. I usually don't like to use it, but it's not too bad. But in terms of the stats, getting it early is really helpful.
Also, Kai, spoilers on the death.
This world's very dangerous. Like, this is not an early world at all, and these guys hurt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I usually do this world. I got a Blizzard for beating Beast Castle, so I decided to do that because that's a really useful spell to have here for the pirate enemies that you'll encounter.
Yeah,
Usually
how-
I start with this.
That's how they predicted where you would go next. They're like, oh, Kai found the Blizzard. Now Port Royal will probably be next. And then I see you go to Port Royal. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's actually kind of cool to predict like that.
They're cheating because they know it's my favorite world too.
Well, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Well, dang.
it's my favorite world, and sometimes I'll just start here and do this first fight with barely anything just to get these checks. I guess I just feel drawn to this world sometimes.
Are there a
Isn't
lot of
Pirates your
checks
favorite
in
movie
here?
again?
Not overwhelmingly much compared to every other world.
It is good to level up though.
Yeah, the experience, if you choose to do, there's kind of like a risk-reward factor, because if you choose to do a later game world earlier in your run, you can get, the EXP is still scaled as if you were playing the game casually and progressing at a normal pace, so going early can actually help a lot in terms of leveling up. Like in Halloween Town, for example, that's kind of a mid-game world, but I went there first because I can abuse Jack's limit and kill those Heartless really fast. And then I get like 6 levels in that one fight alone.
Well, looks like you just found a really nice thing there, Kai.
Yeah, I got Blizzard, and I also got an experience boost, which is very helpful for leveling up later. I'll go ahead and throw that on right away.
It's good just to have, by the way, even if you don't have it active all the time.
Yeah, it's only active when you're in lower health.
Yeah,
I think
half
it depends on how many you have. Is it half?
No, it's below 50% HP and it's active.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you have 2, it just increases the amount of EXP you get.
Yeah, so it basically stacks. There's 2 experience boost abilities in the game, and in terms of this seed, they're either... Usually it's on a Keyblade, but it could be just a base ability in this case, because we have it randomized.
Yeah,
So-
there's one on the Goldwing Keyblade and one in the one you get from leveling up, I believe.
Besides Atlantica, because that's not included in the seed, is there anywhere where you're trying to avoid in particular right now?
Roxas World,
Okay.
the tutorial world. It's just very slow, and it takes a while. Like, you have to do a lot of things before you get to the mass amount of checks that are in that world. So that's the one usually runners try to avoid as much as possible.
There are some ways to make simulated Twilight Town faster, but unfortunately, due to heading into that world out of order, there are some complications which can occur from doing so. Soft locks of the game, for example, or just straight up crashing the game. Also, deleting items that you're wearing, like you can sometimes accidentally delete your Keyblade if you go in, but there are ways to mitigate that. We know exactly like how it happens, but we can't fix that, so it's a bit of
as you can see,
a
the
risk.
Blizzard spell's doing a lot for these guys. It freezes them in place, so kind of gets them out of the way. And if you line them up, you can get multiple in one Blizzard. And there, my EXP boost is active now, because I'm below 50% health, and these guys give a lot of experience, so it's very helpful. And I just died, too.
Again, with the spoilers, Kai.
I was gonna say this fight's really difficult because you get 2-shot or maybe even 1-shot.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know if I was supposed to tell when I died. I forgot there's a stream delay for you
Yeah,
guys. My bad.
Not much, but a little bit. A little bit.
Right.
So what is your plan from here on in? Now, this depends on, of course, what you're going to get. But, like, what is
Right.
a basic plan if you get kind of, like, neutral items here?
I'm basically just gonna try and work down the worlds in order of, like, how many checks there are. So if there's a lot of chests that are easily accessible in a world, I'll try to go to that one first. The next one would probably be Disney Castle, because I have not checked it yet, and there's a lot of chests in the courtyard area. Which also brings me back to the question you had earlier about worlds I try to avoid. I don't like going to Timeless River. I just
That
don't
would
like
make
it. That's just a
sense.
personal thing.
Well, there's not a lot of checks there either, from what I can remember about it.
Yeah, exactly. The Disney Castle world has a lot of checks, but that's a very short segment that leads into Timeless River. Timeless River itself is pretty lacking in checks.
It's, I think, 7 chests or 8 chests. Is it 7 chests and a couple of boss checks?
Okay.
Oh, no.
Oh no! That hurts.
Ooh.
Yeah, I felt that.
At like half a second left on the
0.66 seconds I had to live, and I got one shot.
The berserkers that killed him, the pirates of 2 axes, their attack comes out incredibly quickly. It's very, very hard to move out of sometimes.
And I had a little bit of ending lag on that reaction command animation, so it made it kind of tough for me.
Yeah.
Well, this is looking like a pretty tough area. If you want to go back, Kai, and focus on this, we totally understand. We appreciate you taking the time, though, mid-run, in the midst of all this port rail action, to talk to us about what your strategies are and what you think so far.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really fun.
Anything else you got for us before you go back into focus mode?
I think we've covered everything so far, but you can check back with me later.
We absolutely will. Thank you so much, Kai.
Alright, thank you guys.
And
That's another unfortunate death there, yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about what was going on Casa's side really quickly before we got too far into it. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to make sure we could talk spoilers here. And y'all are clear to do so.
Oh,
Yeah, he just went to 100 Acre Woods. He found another one of the torn pages. So he just popped in there. They're very, very easy checks, especially the first page and the intro page. I just walk in, grab the chests, and leave. So he won't be doing any mini games, I guess, until I predict he won't be doing any mini games until he gets between another 1 to 2 pages. Like, he's definitely not going to do the mini game now. There's no reason to.
Yeah. So you don't, even though he has the minigame unlocked, he doesn't want to do it at the moment because you don't get any checks for finishing the minigame. But he wanted to go over there just to get the chests.
There's 3 chests in each of the pages, barring the last one, which only has 2, and a check from the... No, Spooky Cave has many, many more checks than 3, doesn't it?
Yeah, it has a couple chests, and then the like I think you get 3 from finishing the minigame.
Yeah, you would normally get Sweet Memories there, so... But we've got it somewhere else, because Randomize...
Yeah.
We should see Kai get past the minigame now, yep. So Kai's now completed that section.
Does Kassa have any kind of edge over Kai right now? I'm trying to take a look at the trackers here, and I'm not quite sure if there is. I mean, I see Cure 2. That's certainly pretty helpful.
He has Genie, which is actually a really good summon. He's like one of the best summons in the game, I am. So that might help him a lot. But some fights you can't summon in, like the Beatty, for example. You have to have both your party members present.
But not alive.
Yes.
It's one of the few times where you can actually summon something and not have to worry about the health of your party members.
Yeah.
So there's really like no lead right now then. It's just, you know, someone has some items, someone has the other. They both have the same amount of proofs right now. So it doesn't look like there's a lead right now, unless y'all could decipher a lead out of what's currently going on.
I would say there's no lead, yeah. Like Kassa has level 3 wisdom, which so like he has more different for fight, can probably do some like harder things right now. Kai doesn't have too much. Like he was struggling a bit on Port Royal because the enemies are so difficult. So
it doesn't look like I have a very high magic stat right now, so
yeah.
The other thing to take into account is Cure is by a lot of the more seasoned runners or players is seen as one of the worst spells to have. It's generally not a good idea to spend all of your mana doing like only healing yourself, especially if later on you have second chance once more. If you can find both of those, having 2 health is the same as having 50.
Yeah, this is Kingdom Hearts 2 again, and if for those of you who've only may have seen Kingdom Hearts 1, in Kingdom Hearts 1, heal is really potent. You always have plenty of magic left over as long as you have enough upgrades, whereas here, it doesn't matter how much of an upgrade you have. If you heal, all of your mana will be consumed. You have to wait for that meter to go back down before using it again.
And they don't have access to easy MP haste errors, so...
I didn't think so.
Like, normally the ultimate weapon will have an MP haste dagger on it, but not in this case. It's got the air combo plus that we were told about, so MP is an issue. Especially considering you don't really pick up much money in the rando. So unless you go out of your way to make money, you don't normally have money for ethers.
Yeah. And it's pretty interesting. Kassa went to Hollow Bastion, which is the same place Kai went to, so they've been kind of going to the similar worlds so far. Kassa might do the corridor fight. So like right now, Kassa has Genie, and if Kai had Genie, he might have actually done the fight because Genie could help a lot in that fight, but we'll see.
The only thing to note about Genie is the power level of Genie is correlating to how many drive forms you have. Because Genie can get different abilities depending on which drive form you set him to. And he'll only ever have the drive forms available to him that you have.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just my opinion, but Wisdom Genie for me has... Wisdom and Valor Genie have the 2 least uses, but that might just be me and my preferences.
Well, Wisdom Genie is pretty good. I would say Valor isn't. Wisdom can be good, like on some fights. It does a lot of damage if you're weak. Like, it's a pretty good option, but without Magnet, it might not be very good.
We've unfortunately got Kai here, cycling to the boat fight, which is a very dangerous fight. You have to hold back on several waves of pirates without losing the medallion that he's got. If he loses that medallion and the game times out, he loses. If he dies, he loses. And there's another ship like firing cannons at him all the time, so it's a very, very difficult fight.
Yeah, that is one thing I would say. Kassa hasn't died nearly as much as Kai, and I think it's because Kai has been doing a lot more riskier routing. So like Kai's went here to get a lot of EXP, but he died a bunch, so it might not have been in his favor. It looks like he's decided to not try the boat fight and go somewhere else.
Looks like he's going to pick up all of the opening chests in Disney Castle. This is a good thing to point out on Casa's stream is I think Nintendo mentioned this earlier where there are areas that we specifically want Jive Forms, and this is a really good fight for Wisdom Form. There are a lot of shadow kills that you can get, and they're very, very weak for him now.
Oh yeah. There's some really good parts, like story fights, that you would want to drive form for, like right there. That's a really good spot to get a lot of Wisdom Form experience. But there aren't very good places in the game after you've done all the story fights to level up Wisdom. Quite as good as that, so you want to have drive forms for like some areas.
Of course, we can never predict what we're going to have, so sometimes you just have to go through them and hope for the best.
Yeah, and I think that's a lot of what goes into like their routing, is they're kind of weighing what is the most optimal spot to go to.
I mean, I guess what we're looking for now is a magnet. A magnet on either player's side would be a really, really strong ability to have.
Yeah, I think same with Reflect. Magnet and Reflect are the best spells in the game, pretty much.
Yeah, I would agree.
Mm-hmm.
Just have to wait and see which player finds one first. So this is where Casa left the world, and it seems like he's leaving here as well. So,
Wow, I'm kind of surprised.
yeah, Kai decided he didn't want to go through mini escort.
Oh yeah,
But
Pride Land.
that's oh yeah, Pride Lands is a very good choice, but he looks like
Yeah.
he's heading to Land of Dragons.
This is still a good world. This is one of the first worlds of the game, so it should be really easy for him.
He's definitely got about 10 levels on himself where he really wouldn't normally have them. Some people will also just opt to walk into this world and take these 3 chests and leave, like right at the start of the game. But
Yeah. Oh, that's what he's doing. Or not. Okay, never mind.
I think he thought about it and then he thought
Yeah.
better of it. So I'm wondering if Casa is going to go through to the end of Beast Castle 1 or not. Looks like he's heading back towards the pushing minigame, so he might be. Oh no, he left the chest here, okay.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I don't think Kai ended up getting anything special in this world. But I don't...
He got the blizzard from Darkthorn.
oh, yeah.
Which,
Okay.
and there's a blizzard behind the town fight in Port Royal, so there's only one other blizzard hiding somewhere, and most players will not enter Port Royal without a blizzard, so
Yeah, so if he ends up finishing this world, he might take the same route as Kai and go to Port Royal, but we'll see.
Is there any kind of logic that allows someone to find Blizzard outside of Port Royal? We talk about logic a lot within randomizers to make things easy. Or is it possible that all 3 of the Blizzards could be like deep in Port Royal, for instance?
they could be, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
There is-
The only... Sorry, go on.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say there is logic. Like we were talking about before, how the proof of non-existence can't be behind Terra because to prevent a soft lock.
The proof of
And,
connection can't be behind Terra.
Oh, sorry, yeah,
Non-existence is the one that can be.
that's the one that can be. Yeah, my bad. And the torn pages can't be in 100 Acre, and growth abilities can't be in Core. So there's like that
And
type of
Fire
logic.
Thunder Blizzard can't be behind Agrabah 2,
Right.
because otherwise you won't be able to get past the minigame to enter the tower.
Yeah. So looks like Casa had issues with Thresholder. Same with Kai. Kai died on that fight too.
Thresholder without something like Valor Form to back you up can be very difficult sometimes.
Oh yeah, for sure. The really hard part about this fight is the gargoyles, because there's 2 of them at the start of the fight, and they're probably like harder to deal with than Thresholder himself, so you want to get rid of them as soon as you can.
There we go. So it looks like he's opted to use Wisdom Form for this section, just to get rid of the gargoyles at least.
I don't think he knows that they're immune to fire.
Yeah. That's unfortunate. We've got Mickey, so...
Yeah.
Is there any time where you wouldn't want to use Mickey if you have the option?
I would say the only time you wouldn't want to use Mickey would be if you're trying very specific strategies to get a fast kill on Zoldin. Or if you're doing the first Armor Zemnis fight, because it's often faster just to wipe and start again for Armor Zemnis. At least in my experience. I don't know if Ninten has a different answer to that question.
Yeah, I mean, it really depends. Like, if you have really low stats and you're struggling on a fight, then it's like always better to use Mickey. But if you're really, really strong, sometimes you can be like a glass cannon, so like you're really, really strong, but you also die in one hit. So like in that scenario, maybe it would be better to just try to get a fast fight and not take Mickey. But or if you're trying to save your first Mickey for a certain fight, because like I said, the first time you get Mickey, it's guaranteed. See, if you want to like save Mickey for a specific fight that you know is going to be harder, you can do that as well.
A lot of people will use that first Mickey on something like Cerberus, where you don't have your party members with you and you're stuck with Auron. It's just a much easier way of getting past him, because Mickey's like magic spell, the light orb that flies around, can hit all 3 heads and just do incredible damage. So people will often use it there if they can, or like opt to just not use it at all sometimes. Depends. It's runner's preference for the most part, I think.
Yeah. So it looks like Kasa's gonna probably end up finishing the world.
There's always a possibility he dips out when he picks up Beast, but I wouldn't see any reason to do that.
Yeah,
unless he's got other plans. You do have to walk all the way back, which in the base game you wouldn't have to, because there's no option for you to choose where in the world you want to drop into. Depending on how far you've progressed in that world will be where the Garden of Assemblage will drop you when you choose that world. Oh, that was very close to being a fail there.
I know Kasa went to OD before. Do you remember how far he went?
In LOD? He went all the way through to Shan Yu, but I don't believe...
Yeah, I don't think we saw any of the mini bosses there, so it wasn't a finish for Land of Dragons by any means.
No, he definitely did Summit. He did Summit, and that's all I can remember.
Yeah, that's about all I saw as well.
Okay.
Ooh, that's unfortunate. The gargoyles here can be a real pain. This is another thing. He knows that which chest he wants from this room, so he can just ignore like the chest down there if he knows it's got like a mithril shard or something or a potion and he doesn't want it. He can just opt to not take it now.
Oh, so I just realized that. Sorry, I just realized that Kai died at the very ending of Mountain Climb. So that was a big time loss because now he has to redo Mountain Climb and then grab every chest. Or at least the ones that he thought were good. But I know sometimes when I'm doing the rando, I don't remember exactly what was in every chest, so I just grab all of them again anyway.
It's very easy to forget.
Yeah.
Although, luckily, the game does adjust to the fact that we've changed the chests. And if you look into Jiminy's journal, it will tell you like what you picked up where. So if you're playing with somebody, like a lot of people like to do co-op runs, where you'll split up the work, you'll split up the worlds, and you'll basically try to find the items that you need, the proofs, as fast as possible between 2 people. You can always go back and check if you've missed something or you don't know where you picked it up. The only thing you can't check are pop-up checks, like after you complete a boss, for example, and you get a bonus from that fight, or if you get a completion, like a Keyblade or something.
Yep. And something else to mention is that Kai just checked the party member weapons, like Goofy and Donald. And the reason is because they can have their limits on their weapons, like Knock Smash, Whirligoof, Comet, and Duck Flare. And Knock Smash isn't very good, but Comet, Duck Flare, and Whirligoof can actually be really good limits to have. So it's always good to check a Donald weapon or a Goofy weapon when you have it, to see if you have a limit on there.
One of the big things to note about limits is you're completely invincible during limits. They also use up all your mana again, so you can abuse limits to get into MP regen. So you can use stuff like Berserk Charge, which allows you to attack infinitely if you have no mana. And you can abuse them for the invincibility frames, so that in some fights you can just survive attacks much easier.
Yeah, like Comet, for example, you have it lasts for a very long time, and because you're invincible during the whole thing and you can combo during it, it's really good to use on a hard fight to ensure you don't die.
Alright, so commentators, we're going to bring the runners up just in a second here, because we're about a minute away from our break time.
Okay.
So no more spoilers at this point until we come back from our break. So we'll pull both the runners up and we will count down at the end of this minute here, and we'll take a pause. And again, that is for a break, also for everyone to remind everyone to get up and stretch and get water, all that good stuff. So let's bring the runners up now so they know.
Sounds good.
Welcome back, guys.
Hello.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
So in about 2 seconds here, I'll count down from 5, and then if you both can just pause at the same time, right? If I remember Kingdom Hearts,
Yeah, I'll just stay in a place where I can pause.
at your most convenient pause spot, you know.
I can do it
Obviously.
now.
All right, so 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and pause just whenever you can.
Hi.
All right, great.
Hello, friends. It's been a while.
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah. All right, so a little bit of housekeeping here before we go into the break. Remember, Random Number Generation is brought to you by viewers like you. If you'd like to support the stream as well as the other programs on GDQ Hotfix, please consider subbing to the channel. If you have Amazon Prime, remember you have a Twitch Prime sub, so please consider using that if you have not already sub to the channel. Couple announcements. Mercy Kill will be tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern. Join us as the Dragon Feeny runs A Link to the Past for the first time in quite a few years. SGDQ 2020 online games list and schedules out. Go to gamesdonequick.com for info on SGDQ 2020 online. If you're interested in other Hotfix shows, you can head over to gamesdonequick.com/hotfix to submit games or ideas for upcoming shows. And with that, everybody get up, stretch, get some hydration, and we'll be right back with more RNG. All right, folks, welcome back to Random Number Generation. This is episode 19, Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix Randomizer, with Kassa and Kai running and Ninten and Honey on comms, and I am very eager to get this started. So let's go right back into the action. Kai and Kassa, are you all ready to go?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, I will count down from 3. Good luck in 3, 2, 1, go. Good luck, resume, and have fun.
All right.
Just need to
We'll let you know when you can start talking spoilers again.
yeah, I've got the view at the channel open just so I can see. I don't want to ruin anything.
All right, we're good. You can spoil away now, commentators.
Cool.
So one thing that we can just take note of there, you saw on the pause screen that there were a 10-minute difference between the in-game time of Kassa and Kai, and that's entirely down to the fact that Kai was dying more. Like, when you die, your in-game timer freezes and goes back to the point before you've died. So that's why there's a time disparity there.
Yeah, it's a good way to tell how much time you spent dying in the run. If you want your in-game time and your real time to be as close as possible, because then you've wasted the least amount of time dying.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Kassa went to Port Royal.
Yeah, he picked up the Blizzard from the end of Beast Castle and came straight here, which is, you know, pretty standard at this point. They're also both exactly the same level right now, which is gonna probably mean that Kasa might have the same issues as Kai, but it depends. He has got a higher level on Wisdom form, which could be very useful in some fights. The magic boost can be very, very helpful.
Yeah, the Wisdom would probably be good here. It looks like Kai is just dipping. He's going to do something else.
Could be, yeah. Okay, so he's checking out Twilight Town. I believe we've already had, we've already had Kasa go through Twilight Town, so basically playing catch up at this point.
Yeah, again, they keep going to, they both went to about the same worlds. Twilight Town, I'm trying to remember if this might have been where, I don't remember what was here, if there was like anything good here.
I don't believe there was anything important.
Yeah. I was gonna say maybe this is where Wisdom was, but no, Kai already got Wisdom. I don't remember where that was.
Wisdom was... Where was Wisdom? It was quite early in one of the chests, I believe. But one thing to take note of in Twilight Town, actually, is I think we've had both runners do exactly the same thing here, where they go through the sand lot into the tram common. Some players will actually completely ignore the tram common and the forest, which has a few chests in, and do it the second time they visit Twilight Town, because it technically saves time to do so. But then you could be missing out on something. It depends on how powerful you are at the time and heading in, and whether you want to spend the time doing it or not. Or if you're going to go straight back into Twilight Town 2, then you can just leave it for the second visit.
Yeah. An hour in and they both don't have a single reflector magnet. It's actually pretty difficult. Usually you want to have like one of those because they really change up a lot of fights. They make things way easier. They're probably waiting on magnet to go to Pride Lands, and that's where a ton of checks are. There's a lot of chests there, and it's a pretty fast world.
Would you say this is a difficult seed so far?
Not so far. The lack of reflect is the only thing, but I mean, reflect is largely regarded as one of the best spells in the game. I don't think there's a spell that's better. For like general use, it's absolutely amazing at keeping yourself alive as well as doing damage. It does both things simultaneously. Other than that, forms are a bit dry at the moment. They've got all the spells they need bar those two, so they can kind of use a lot of strategies. I think they're fine by now. But I don't. What about your personal preference, Nintendo?
I would say it's a little bit on the harder side, just because they don't have too many tools. So like, I mean, not having like Kai doesn't have a summon. He only has Wisdom. No like limits like Comet Duck Flare, no explosion. So like it's not super easy, but I mean they still have like easy checks to do before they do harder things. So they might find something good.
I'm trying to think of... Yeah, I mean, Pride Lands is very doable even without the magnet. There's recently been newer strategies found to bypass the first force fight. But I don't know if it's well known to these two runners yet.
What I do know after talking to the couple of runners during the breaks is that if we see Roxas Twilight Town, not Sora Twilight Town, what we're seeing on Kai's side, if we see Roxas in Twilight Town, we know some real bad stuff went down with the seed and the RNG within it.
Yeah.
Well, there's very few checks in Simulated Twilight Town, but it's definitely something you can get through, not too difficult, especially if you have Quick Run, which I believe both of them do right now, because Quick Run is it kind of breaks Simulated Twilight Town. Rather than performing the normal Quick Run animation, Roxas just kind of like jolts forwards. So your animation cancel and can chain quick runs very, very quickly. So you can actually get through the world very fast. It's not too bad, but it's definitely one of those ones where people avoid it.
Yeah, I think it's like kind of like a last, like a desperation world. Like you kind of dry on a lot of areas, and you have limit form maybe, so you just end up going there because it's the only thing you have left. But like people usually try to avoid it because it's pretty boring and slow, and there's a lot more better things to do. I
mean, as Nintendo brought up with the You said people will wait until limit form, for example. Limit form is the only form you can actually use within Simulated Twilight Town, and you can use it in the struggle matches to use Ragnarok ability from the limit commands, which will pretty much one-shot all of the orbs of any of the contestants. So you can just bypass the struggle fights very quickly with limit form.
Yeah, you really want limit form. It speeds up like every fight in Roxas Road. And the other thing actually we haven't mentioned is that in Roxas Road, when we'll see when they go there, if they end up going there, but you can use limit form infinitely because it doesn't use up any drive gauge.
Yeah, that's another good thing to note, actually, is that you don't use drive gauge when in Roxas World. There are occasions when it does kind of bug out and you use your drive gauge, but you can normally just drop in and out of limit form as you see fit.
I'm not sure if that was a thing that was added in to the rando specifically, or because you're not supposed to use the drive in Roxas Road, of course.
I think it's a product of having drive in Roxas, in Simulated Twilight Town, or Roxas World as people call it. Because
that makes sense.
You're not meant to have any drive forms or drive gauge there, so I think it doesn't expect you to have a drive gauge, so it just keeps you at the same value as you would have been before you entered the drive.
Yeah,
that's my assumption, but I could be wrong. Maybe one of the people who actually make the game, the mod, would know, but speculations. There are a lot of things we don't know still.
Oh, so Casa has Peter Pan actually.
Peter Pan is very good.
Yeah, so... Oh, you can go ahead.
No, you go for it.
Okay, so Pan has Tinkerbell, which will revive you when you die, when he's out. So it's really good to have if you don't have like once more second chance. I mean, he's just like really safe someone to use. So if Casa ends up dying here, he'll be revived by Tinkerbell with like half HP. But it only happens once per summon. Berserkers is a pretty hard fight for him to do right now. Like he's only level 14. This fight, a lot of people do try to do TG2 as soon as they can because there's a lot of chests and checks after Berserkers in the third visit of Twilight Town. But it is a really hard fight to do, so it's a very like high risk, high reward type thing.
It would have been a lot easier if one of them would have Magnet as well. It's kind of a surefire way to get through past these Berserkers.
Yeah.
Berserkers attack very quickly, and they will almost always one-shot you with their non-combo attacks. So they're kind of scary to get past without, say, like Chicken Little or Magnet. Maybe even Stitch. But
looks like he is just going to save it for later.
That's fair. He probably could have used the Lamp Charm to get past. He probably could have used Genie, but it would still be a bit sketchy.
Yeah, Genie is good on that fight, but it's still scary because he can die really easily. Oh, he's going to Pride Lands actually. Okay, cool.
I mean, the first 3 checks here are free at least, and he's got a few levels now, so he might have the strength just to get through the forced fight here. This fight can be very, very scary.
Yeah, so basically this world has a ton of checks, and it tends to have really good things in it, just like from what I've seen. But the thing is that you have to get past this first fight, which is pretty difficult with these dinosaur things. But if you get rid of one of them, the second one isn't too hard, so I think he's got this.
Yeah, there you go. That's very well played by Casa there. I think there's about 26 checks in total from start to finish before the checks kind of dry out.
Oh wow, I didn't realize that. That's crazy.
There's loads, yeah. Most people will just go up to Simba and stop at the Circle of Life check, because then you've only got another 3 checks total in the world, I think it is. But it's a lot of chests. It's one of the highest chest worlds in the game, I think, for like how short it is to get them all.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
not including like Hollow Bastion, for example, but that one's got like Cavern of Remembrance behind it. So
So we saw right there, Casa picked up the Shade Archive, and that's actually like one of the best accessories in the game to get because it has the best magic stat, and as we mentioned, magic is better than like any other, better than strength. So you want to have the highest magic stat possible. Kai's over here in Olympus. He might actually end up doing Haze Escape, but
that was pretty big on Caster's side. He just found himself a second chance.
nice.
That's going to help him get past the Berserker's fight a lot easier. Because Berserkers tend to kill you in one hit if you don't get hit by the combo attack.
Yeah, so the way that second chance works is if you get hit by a move that would one-shot you, you will stay at 1 HP. So if you have more than 1 HP, you're invincible to the next... You won't die to the next hit. But you can get comboed still. You need once more to be protected from a combo.
Oh, it's also the upgraded version of Shade Archive to take into account as well. So it's got MP Rage on it as well. Which was mentioned by Sonic in the chat. So Sonic is one of the people who helped develop the game. Or the mod, should I say. Not the game, the mod.
He developed the Garden of Assemblage mod. So Kai is actually going to do Haze Escape. This is one of the harder fights in the game.
Super scary without Magnet.
Mm-hmm.
But you can kind of use Oren's Limit if you want to.
Yeah. I'm really curious to see how this goes.
Yeah, this is
scary.
dangerous.
Ooh, his magic is pretty good. Oh, he got Scan too.
Scan is on Oblivion.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't notice that.
I only picked it up because I saw Kai equip it in LOD. So
Yeah.
so
we got
those knights are immune to thunder, which is kind of scary as well. So that's one thing to take into account in this section.
Yeah, and they're the hardest hitting. Like, well, they're really hard hitting. They can do a lot of damage. Like, they might be able to one shot him at this point. And Hades also does a lot of damage as well, if he doesn't have any fire resistance on. So he only has one more wave. This last wave has a large body, which can most likely one-shot him too. Okay, he didn't get one-shot, but... Ooh.
Yeah, the are they Spear Knights? I don't know the name of them, but the Knights of the Jousting Spear are incredibly dangerous. See, there you go. You just get like smacked by them and you're dead.
That was so close too. That was an unfortunate death. So that's the hard thing about that fight, is that you can get comboed out of a reaction command, or like out of another combo that you're doing. There's so many hard lists around, and then Hades to keep track of that it's hard to get off like any safe damage.
Is it okay if I bring Casa in here in a couple minutes?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that'd be good.
I want to talk to Casa after that Pride Rock segment, so just give me a sec.
I wonder how many times we're gonna have Kai try out Hades Escape here. It's very, very scary.
All right, I think Casa to be pulled up.
Yep.
And here we are. Here's Casa. How are you doing? What's going on?
I'm doing pretty well. Apparently, I've died the least. I'm doing really well. I just found my third summon, so I'm feeling pretty good, but I'm gonna die if I don't pay attention.
Oh, you got Chicken Little. That's really good.
Yeah, the fight Casa is on can be very, very dangerous if you're not careful. But Chicken Little's gonna make this fight a lot easier.
I was always under the impression that compared to the first game, the summons in this game are kind of weak. This kind of defies everything I've felt about summons in Kingdom Hearts 2.
Yeah, summons in this game are incredibly strong. Like they're good all around. There's not a bad summon in the game.
I was thinking compared to, like, for example, Tinkerbell from Kingdom Hearts 1, which always consistently healed you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
But-
I think. Sorry.
Okay.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. So I think it is kind of common for casual players to kind of ignore summons because their utility isn't like very obvious.
Mhm.
But a lot of speedrunners know like exactly how to use each summon. So like right there, you saw Casa got through corridor fight pretty well because Chicken Little kept the enemies stunned the whole time, and he was able to get rid of them without like facing any real danger.
I got a cup.
And speaking, do you want to talk to us about your thought process so far, Casa? Where are you with this run, with the decisions you've made, and what decisions do you plan to make going forward?
So because Kai and I are very similar, I'm actually taking what I would normally do myself and not do it. So I'm kind of working against myself in order to make sure I keep myself ahead of the curve. And it seems to be working in my benefit because the more safe plays I've been making has allowed me to go through a lot more places. I'm not going to be able to reach that. Oh, no. That's okay.
Unfortunate.
No, it's okay. I'll be able to. Ooh, but not if I do that. Basically, this is a risky play, actually. What I normally would do is I would force my way through things like Twilight Town 2, which you tried to see me do a little bit, and then I noticed that I was just dying, so I was like, let's not do that. I'm not going to be able to get that, so we're just going to grab these ones. I need a better glide in order to get there. I have a good enough high jump. If I had aerial dodge, I might be able to do it. But what you want to do is try to cover as much ground as possible, but also try not to be the exact same as everybody else, because otherwise you're all just kind of racing the same items at the exact same time, whereas you could find something else by doing very risky things and getting into places ahead of time to see if it's worth it or not. I'm going to die here.
Yeah, so right now Casa is in pretty much the hardest area in the game. These hardest are like battle level 99.
Get me out of here.
They're incredibly strong. Not an easy place to be, especially lacking some of the spells he has.
Okay. Not having reflect is one of the biggest things, which is why I'm trying to go into weird unorthodox places, because that allows me to see if it's actually there. I'm going to use this now, along with my defense boost, and we are going to go into the next fight.
Yeah,
What you
the cavern
go ahead.
looks really scary. Those car enemies from Timeless Rivers seem to be some of the toughest to dodge and the toughest to kill.
For me, I wouldn't have even attempted it right now, but I got second chance in Pride Lands, which was really lucky for me. Oh my god.
Ooh.
This could be
Second
really
chance coming
bad.
in clutch.
Yeah, I'm dead. No, I'm not.
So Chicken died. Okay.
Ah,
So one thing to note there actually is you were talking about how Tinkerbell heals you all the time. Summons like Chicken Little will heal you as well. Like,
wow.
it's one of the things a lot of people don't realize. If you're low on health, like Chicken Little can do several different things. He can magnet all of the enemies to him. He can heal you, or he can throw like eggs at people. So
Yeah, actually, that every summon actually does heal you in one way. So like Chicken, you'll get healed for the amount of damage that you do. For Genie, he'll throw you a potion when you're on critical HP. Stitch just heals you very slowly over time. It's really hard to notice. And Peter Pan heals you really over time.
also Stitch will play his ukulele, which stun locks enemies and makes them drop HP orbs.
Yeah, that as well. So Chicken Little was lost there because he got hit by the nobodies, and as your summon gets hit, your summon gauge will go down, and when it reaches 0, then you lose the summon and you have to resummon them. So unfortunately, he got hit by the dancers a ton.
Casa's playing this fight very safely right now. It's very smart to do, considering how fast Chicken Little died.
Yeah, now he was able to resummon, so this should be...
Yeehaw.
There's the magnet. Well played.
So, Casa, what's your current plan right now? What are you thinking after this?
I need to go back, grab a couple chests, and then I'm ditching this world because I know I cannot fight the boss.
I see.
A lot of the rando is knowing what you can and cannot fight at this current time with your skill set, and also what you have loadout wise. I could attempt it, but it'd be a lot more risky than me just going to other worlds and getting more stuff to just get past it, especially because it's only, what is it, 1, 5, 6 checks? It might be 6 checks, but those 6 checks could cost me 20 minutes if I just continuously die there.
Mm-hmm. Would
So
you
now that
consider this difficult so far? Casa, we were talking about this earlier as to whether or not this seed is difficult, and we had some differing opinions about it.
Yes and no. To the people who aren't used to fighting without things like Once More, Second Chance, and Reflect, it's extremely difficult. I am used to it because I had to do 2 seeds back to back where I had none of those things.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it's not extremely hard. I know where to pick my battles. If I know I'm going to die right away, I'm not going to waste my time trying to get farther just to die again. When I could just move to somewhere like where I am right now. And I know I can finish it because I think I'm like level 17. And I have the magic and the strength and the survivability.
Yeah, I think that's one thing you've been doing really well is choosing everything that you know that you'll be able to do first try and not wasting any time trying to do something too difficult.
Yeah. I also have some torn pages, which I should go... Well, I thought it would do it to one. There we go. Which I should use, to be completely honest, because there's a couple of free chests there, but I have to play 1 minigame in order to do it, which is about 1.5 minutes. So it's just basically, is it worth it for me to do this 1.5 minutes to get 3 checks? And I'll make that choice probably sooner than later after I finish up this place, because there's a bunch of checks I can get now.
Yeah, this segment in particular seems very difficult. The one you're on.
Shadows.
It definitely can be. I think because Casa has second chance, that's gonna make a big difference because
Yeah.
you usually end up getting one shot. Or
Alright, I'm just gonna bait Hades right here. There we go.
Yeah, Blizzard there making things.
So I got a thing called Flash Step, but I didn't actually equip it, which is a bad choice on my part. Because it would have allowed me to close the distance. Alright, I'm just going to wait a second here. I have 2 MP hastes that I'm letting just fill up there, and I can also bait Hades to about right here.
Yeah,
and he'll move back. Yep.
This is one thing that you can do in this fight is just wait before spawning the next wave of Heartless, because your MP, you can wait for your MP to come back and maybe use like Orange Limit and just like stall the fight out if you need to, play it safe. So we got the last wave here.
Ooh, he wanted to get me. He was hungry.
Ooh, yeah, that was close.
I knew I was fine though.
Nice.
The second chance.
Nice.
But yeah, I like to pick my battles very effectively. Otherwise, my first week was me just like trying to pick battles that I wasn't winning and trying to brute force it, only to not get anything in the long run, and everybody gaining so much headway on me, coming back and destroying the thing in a matter of seconds. So it's like, let's not do that.
Yeah.
So that I can, yeah. If I cover more ground, there's less for me to check later.
Yep.
All right, well, we know you got a big chunk of this still left to go. Is there anything else you want to let people know before we let spoilers happen again? We kind of talk about what's going on with Kai.
If you're all interested in the randomizer, make sure to hit up that Discord, because we have all of our amazing mods and community who will be able to help you get all set up. And it's super inviting and comfortable.
That's awesome. And again, do not forget to follow Bolt Runners. Do not forget to follow Casa. And Casa, thank you so much for being up here with us. I know this was difficult to do while you're amongst fighting all these enemies, but we appreciate you having your perspective here with us.
No worries.
All right, so we'll put you back in the green room with Kai. And all right, spoilers allowed. Go ahead. Let's talk about what's going on Kai's side here.
Ooh, Kai got a spell. I didn't quite see what it was.
Fire, he got a fire.
Oh, okay. So is that his Fyra or Fyraga?
Fyra. But he also managed to get past Hades' escape whilst we were talking to Casa. which is quite good for him because there's so many checks here, and there's another taunt pages as well.
Ooh.
There was something I was going to talk about. Right. So you can notice on Casa's tracker, he's got little triangle pictures over his form gauges. That's an auto form. So normally when you have a form, you can only level it up from the number of forms you own plus 2. So his wisdom form is maxed right now. He can't get it any higher than level 3 because he's got the 1 form and then 2 more than that is the 3 number. He could get those forms 2-3 if he wanted to by going into that auto variant, but he couldn't get it any higher than that. So that's what those little triangles are. It just means he's got the auto variant of that ability.
And something else to mention too that we haven't touched on is that you can actually get Final Form. Because of the way Final Form works, you can get it at any point in the rando, even like 10 minutes in. In order to get it, you need to have... you can get it every time you have a chance of entering Anti-Form, you have a chance of also entering Final Form. And if you enter Final Form, then you have it for the rest of the game. And in order to get a chance of having Anti-Form, you need to use a bunch of drives in battle. So it's possible to brute force Final Form by just driving and over again in a fight, but it takes like maybe 5 minutes. So there's an ability called or a Keyblade called to become one. I forgot what the ability is named.
It's Light and Dark.
Oh right, yeah. So with that ability, it forces you to go anti-form on every drive usage. So people usually wait to have that, or until they actually find Final Form. But it is possible to grab it at any point in the run, and it's the best form to have, I would say.
It's incredibly strong, especially considering like the way that the randomizer is programmed. Is anytime you get a drive form that has 2 Keyblades, you get an additional Keyblade with that form that's normally hidden behind not existing in the game. And Final Form comes with a variant of the Ultima weapon. It's just slightly weaker, it's got 1 less in its stats, and it's got MP Hastera instead of MP Hastaga. So it's kind of a pseudo Ultima weapon, but in this randomizer, because we've got the Keyblade abilities randomized, it could be any ability on that blade. So it's a good pickup.
Yeah, for sure. It's just that most runners don't opt to try to force out Final early on because it takes so long, and it's usually better to try finding other checks first and maybe finding Final Form naturally.
Exactly. I mean, normally you can't actually access the brute force method for Final Form until you've beaten Roxas. That's when the check actually opens up to unlock Final Form. But the way that the randomizer is programmed, you can get it whenever, as long as you've got it. And there's another proof, actually. So Kai's just found the second proof of the game. It's the proof of Tranquility or the proof of Peace, depending on which translation patch you're on. So he's one step closer. He's just missing those 2 items. Or if he didn't feel like finding the Promise Charm, he could just walk through the final bosses if he wanted.
Yeah, it's only missing 1 more, essentially, to beat the game.
Exactly. And having no proof of connection means that it's unfortunately not going to be a Terra Seed. As much as players might have liked to see some lingering will.
But Casa is going through Olympus right now, so I
but
guess
whether
we'll
he
see.
dips out before Hydra is another question.
Yeah, we'll see if he ends up doing Hydra or not, because not everyone does Hydra right off the bat like Kai did, because the fight was a little bit slow, and it's only 1 check behind Hydra, so it's not always the fastest, the most optimal thing to check first, but it paid off for Kai.
It did, yeah. It's going pretty well for Kai currently, actually. Aside from the few deaths in Port Royal, he's been playing pretty well. One thing to note, actually, that I've seen coming up in the chat a little bit, the form gauge abilities like High Jump and Quick Run and Dodge Roll, etc., you'll see them come up at different levels. Like, you'll get high jump max before you get high jump 1 sometimes. The actual ability that you pick up is just coded to be that name, but if you pick up high jump max, it will just be high jump 1. If you then pick up high jump 3, that will go to high jump 2. And same with any of the form abilities. You don't jump straight to maximum. It's incremental still per the number of Jive form abilities you've picked up.
Yep.
That's unfortunately something you really can't fix because the abilities are separate.
So I think Kai has a couple turn pages. I don't know exactly how many, but we'll see if he ends up just doing getting the next few chests and then dipping, or trying to do another minigame, or what he decides to do.
Collecting the honey here is useless as well, because that's normally only for Jiminy's journal, but because we're doing the randomizer, we can mostly ignore that, but it's something to do whilst you're doing these mini-games. Some players will ignore it, some players will try and collect as much as they can.
Yeah. You don't even have a score in the first time doing it. It's really weird.
Yeah, it's only revisits, but having said that, that's another torn page for Costa. He was just talking when we had him here a second ago that he needed to go check on his torn pages.
Yeah. I saw Kai pick this one up, so that's why I think Kai probably has another one too. So we'll see how far he gets into 100 Acre.
It's really going to come down to whether they find the proof or the promise charm first, because I feel like both of these players are going to be more than happy to go through the world that never was if they have to.
Oh yeah. I think it's really gonna come down to if Casa ends up beating Hydra or not, because if he doesn't beat Hydra yet, he might end up saving Hydra for a very long time.
Some players will wait for Trinity Limit, because Trinity Limit is very, very strong against Hydra. It's basically a free win, as long as you know how to use it.
Yeah,
so...
and it does look like he's... Oh, no, he's saving?
Okay, yeah, that's another thing. Can't blame him for this. He's also making a quick save there as well.
Yeah, just for safety. Okay, he is going to do Hydra. Alright, so they might be evened up right after this.
I do like that Casa was saying that he wants to try and play differently to how he normally would. Because normally Casa would go straight for Halloween Town like Kai did, but he seems to be they're following each other. They really are.
Yeah, they have been like the whole run. It's pretty funny.
We're just missing Kai taking his way through Pride Lands so far. I think if Kai could find himself that second chance, he would put himself in a very big lead.
Yeah, that would have helped him a lot for Port Royal. So we'll see if this minigame is worth it for Kai. This one's like probably the longest minigame. It's really lengthy. Just where the 3 checks after, so...
It's either this or Spooky Cave can be quite long if you don't kill the bees quick enough, and everybody starts running around, and they're kind of hard to catch sometimes.
Yeah, it's just that this one, like at least in Spooky Cave, you have the chest to check and everything, so it's like really worth it. But this one's kind of more of a gamble.
And dash is deceptive as well. Dash doesn't actually dash at all. It just makes your left and right movement faster. So
yeah.
So we're going to see if this was worth it for Kai here. He's definitely got an extra page, or there wouldn't be many reasons to do this mini game.
Yeah.
Yeah, here he goes.
And it looks like Casa is going to get the proof right here. So
yeah, this is going to be a big upturn for his momentum. Having all the extra summons is very big for Casa here.
What's funny is that they've both found the proofs like within a few minutes of each other. Like people don't usually find them in a race like right after another. Like Kai and Casa, they're like tied up the whole race.
Yeah, there's been quite neck and neck. They've been doing a lot of similar checks as much as they've been trying to be different.
Oh,
Okay. That's. This is either going to work out massively in his favor, or it's going to work out poorly. We'll see how it goes.
yeah. So Casa is now trapped in Roxas World or Simulated Twilight Town, for until he finishes it. You cannot exit the world after you enter it. So now he has to go through this entire section, and it has a good amount of checks in it, but it's really slow. So if you don't find anything here, it's a giant waste of time.
Casa did say that he would be taking the approach of he would be doing stuff that he normally wouldn't be doing, so I think this is a pretty good play, regardless.
Yeah, especially because Kai doesn't want to go there. And this is something I mentioned earlier. You'll see Casa doing now is if you watch Roxas's movement, that's because of Quick Run not having an animation for Roxas himself. So it takes the next best thing and just pushes your momentum forwards. You'll see it as he's moving around the world. He'll just kind of like flinch everywhere. It's some of the fastest movement in the game, honestly.
Yeah, I like to call it wave dashing, but it looks really funny.
It's essentially wave dashing, you're right, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there's our first Reflect.
Oh, Reflect.
Kai just found Reflect at level 14, so that's going to be absolutely massive for him.
That is going to be massive, and because Kai chose a different ability route at the beginning of the game, Casa might get that really late, like he might get it at level 30. But Kai has it really early on now, so that's a big advantage that he has now.
One thing that Casa could opt to do is drop out of Simulated Twilight just before the Axel 2 fight. The Beam of Light there is active for him to leave the world then if he didn't want to do Axel, but it's one more fight, which is very, very easy for... you might as well just finish that off, in my opinion, but we'll see what people decide to do.
Yeah.
So one thing you did see, actually, before Casa entered the Simulated Twilight Town was he changed his Keyblade. The Randomizer sometimes... or the Garden of Assemblage mod, I believe, is the issue. Because we're going to Twilight Town, Simulated Twilight Town, where we shouldn't be. Roxas is normally forced to equip a Kingdom Key under certain fights. If you don't change your Keyblade immediately before going into the world, you do run a chance of losing the Keyblade you enter with. So it's very smart of him to change when he did.
Yeah,
we've actually got Kai hitting into thing as well. That's important.
We saw how hard this fight can be. Like, Kai died really quickly, so maybe I'll go better this time. Oh yeah.
So Kai is actually doing the other strategy, which was found recently, where we use the RC command from, or the reaction command. I said RC, reaction command, where you use the RC from I don't know what they're called, but the stompers there. Like, it's very, very quick to get them down, and you need no additional abilities to do so. So
yeah, I just called them dinosaurs, but I don't know what they are.
I have no idea.
The names.
Stompers works because they do stomp.
Yeah, that's true. So this was where Second Chance was, right?
Second Chance was in Pride Rock.
Yeah.
So, and also Shade Archive, which is incredibly valuable. You're going to see him immediately swap out that Cosmic Ring. That Cosmic Ring is doing nothing for him. Kai wasn't that far ahead on levels, so I imagine we'll be seeing Casa pick up his first Reflect very, very soon, which is going to be nice for him. Although actually, no, they pick different weapons, so
yeah,
it depends.
I think Casa's gonna get it pretty late, but I don't have the route memorized, so.
Was it level 14 that he got it? So if it's level 14, the latest he could get it is level 23.
Okay. Say, did we go over the ability route and like how that works?
I don't think we did, but you can take it from here.
Yeah, okay, so at the beginning of the randomizer, before you get into the Garden of Assemblage, you choose between the sword, staff, and shield, and they don't affect your stats at all from the run or for the game, but they affect your ability route. So normally in the base game, if you pick, depending on what you pick, you'll get different abilities at different times. So like shield route is good because you get once more and second chance really early, but in the randomizer, you get random abilities, and those abilities could be anything in the game, like the proof could be behind the level, or a drive form. So because they picked different routes for their abilities, they could end up getting things at like really different times, like how Kai got Reflect at level 14. Casa is gonna have to wait another 10 levels to get Reflect.
I believe people in chat are saying that Casa did pick Staff. He would normally just go straight for Sword because it's right in front of him, which would have net him Reflect at level 9, but Staff is going to set him back another 9 levels. He won't get that until level 23.
Oh yeah.
So he's going to be a bit behind on that, but that depends on whether he sees anything in Simulated Twilight.
And so right now we see Casa is fighting Twilight Thorn, and it's taken him a while to get here, and there aren't many checks yet. So like you can see how long Simulated Twilight Town is, and most of the checks are like in the second half of the world. So the first half is just really slow, and
he did over damage Twilight Thorn here as well. Without the without scan, you don't really know how much damage to do, but it's normally better to do one combo and wait. If you time the fight correctly and you do the right damage numbers, you can evade doing this second RC command here. RC. You can avoid this entire section, so it's unfortunate, but...
And that is one thing... that is one thing that you want Limit Form for. So like if he had Limit Form, he could use it, and there's a strat to beat Twilight Thorn as soon as the first set of RCs are over. But because he decided to go here early, he doesn't have Limit Form, and everything's going to take a bit longer.
So Kai's definitely gone past second chance now, which is going to be big for him. He's also got the Reflect, so he can now start taking down some of the harder content with slightly more reassurance that he can survive.
Oh yeah, did he equip Second Chance? I didn't notice.
I don't remember seeing him equip it, but I would be surprised if he missed it.
Yeah, it would be funny if he missed it.
And there's his baseball charm as well. That's big.
Mm-hmm.
So we're seeing Casa enter the struggle tournament now with without limit. This is going to take a little bit of extra time, but it's not too bad still.
Yeah, I mean it'll be a big advantage for Kai if Casa doesn't end up finding anything here, because it'll pretty much offset all of the deaths that Kai had earlier on in the rando, because you spend so much time in this world. But we'll just see if it's worth it or not.
There's the wave dash. Look at him go. It's really weird to see, but it's good fun. Yeah, the one thing you don't want to do in Simulated Twilight Town is dodge roll, because dodge rolling will soft lock the game. Magic will soft lock the game. As long as you're not if you're in the air, you can cast magic, but the magic doesn't actually go through. It just kind of does an animation and bugs out, so you don't want to do that anyway, but there's a few things you want to avoid.
Yep.
Save yourself.
It looks like Kai has done pretty much the same thing as what Casa did before. He went straight to corridors after he got Chicken Little. He might try to take down Demix, the fight that Casa tried not to do, but it would be pretty hard to do at his level, so we'll find out.
Casa, with that second chance now, actually has the ability to go do that, especially with his limit form being his wisdom form being level 3. Wisdom Fire is quite good against Demix, so we might see Casa hit that soon, but I wouldn't be surprised if he left it for a little while longer.
Yeah. So there is a sort of like a cheese strat with Wisdom Form Fire. You're able to keep bosses stun locked with Fire and Wisdom Form. So Demix is one of the fights that you can abuse that on, and it can be really, really easy and free if you use Wisdom Form in that way, but I'm not sure if Casa will try doing that yet when he has other stuff to do after Twilight Town. And Kai was able to get this chest, so okay, it wasn't anything good.
He must have a higher level of or did he reflect onto
No,
it?
he had I think he had level 2 glide.
Okay, yeah. You can also use reflect to gain some height on those those glides, which is very, very useful for finding them if you don't have the form abilities to do so.
Yeah.
These enemies are just so dangerous. One of the easier things to do is magnet them, but he still has no magnet, no idea where they are, so it's going to be a time before he can actually abuse that kind of spell.
Yeah, just in terms of getting some useful things like explosion, reflect, and magnet. Kai was able to get reflect, but the game's definitely not helping them out with some things. So he's gonna attempt dancers right here.
The Restoration Site fight is not super easy at the best of times, but Chicken Little's going to make it a lot easier. Except he just took a brutal hit there immediately, which is going to drop an entire form gauge from him. An entire summon gauge even.
Okay, so this fire strat is really smart with Chicken Little.
Especially because he's got Fyra instead of the base fire that Kasa had when he was here.
Yeah, that too.
Covers a lot more space. That ability there that you just saw the dancer use, if you get grabbed by that in critical mode, it's just a death. If you don't have second chance, it will just kill you in one shot. So he was lucky to evade that there. He would have been dropped down to 1 HP and been a lot more the scary position. Each time a summon heals you, they use a chunk of their summon gauge, so you kind of want to avoid it if you can.
Yep, and okay, so he's heading back as well. Probably a smart move. You can probably do Demix right now, just that you always want to weigh your options, like what is the fastest thing I can check right now. And Demix is a really slow check for him, so he doesn't want to also risk dying there and death cycling.
Or he might be heading to Demix, or he might leave through...
Oh shoot, he is doing Demix.
Oh, he's going to give it a go. This is if this works out for him, this is going to be a big lead.
Yeah. I don't see Kasa doing Demix anytime soon, but I mean, he's still in Twilight Town. So now Kasa's at the point of Twilight Town where there's a ton of checks. Let's see if this was worth it.
This right here in the central station is one of the checks that a lot of players miss. They forget. I mean, a lot of people don't even know these chests are here, to be honest. Like, the game never directs you to them. And he got a Thunder Boost there, which is incredibly good.
Yeah, that's pretty good to get.
And another glide, which is going to help him in core.
The other thing is that the chests in this area, in Roxas Road, don't show up in the Jiminy's Journal. So if you miss these chests, you might just forget about them forever, like for the rest of the game, because there's no real way to know if you've gotten them without actually going back to check.
So one thing the randomizer does, which is a recent addition, is horizontal slash. That's very, very strong.
That is really good.
That's going to be very, very big, especially considering they don't seem to have many ways to deal damage in combat currently, so that's going to be huge. The randomizer recently implemented a set of files which made us skip these day 5 7 Wonders checks, so you no longer have to do the ball mini game at the wall. You don't have to fight Shadow Roxas. There's a lot of things that you can just skip over. It's really nice. It makes it easier for everybody, especially because Dogbag minigame can actually soft lock the game. And we just had an unfortunate death from Kai there as well.
Yeah. So this fight is really difficult. You saw right there, his second chance came in, but he doesn't have once more. So Demix can combo really easily. He has a lot of like multi-hit attacks. So it's really difficult to do right now, and it looks like Kai is going to come back later.
A lot of his retaliations are area of effect as well, or he'll just immediately go into an attack, which is very hard to dodge. So it's one of those fights where you kind of have to be super careful. It's probably quite smart for him to dip here and try some other content.
Yeah, I mean, he came really close, but he probably thought that with like the amount of deaths he had earlier on, that it's not smart for him to try something really difficult right now.
It is a bit of a big play. It could either work out or it could destroy him, so we're about to see whether this simulated Twilight Town play works out for Kasa. He's found a few things. I believe there was a reaction boost. Horizontal slash is absolutely big. We're going to probably see him start using that a lot more when he can. He also found a Thunder Boost, which has given him 2 Thunder Boosts, which is another product of the Randomizer.
Didn't Costa find something useful in terms of movement, a glide or something? Can't that be used to access other checks?
Yes.
For core, so like that chest that he couldn't get before, he can grab that one. It's mostly in Cavern of Remembrance. Usually, like every other chest is accessible, but Cavern of Remembrance you do need growth abilities to get through.
There are a few strategies you can use to get through all of the checks. You do not need maximum form abilities on any of the abilities to get through core. You can get through with basically level 1 on most things, barring you need level 2 glide, and you need, I believe you need level 2 aerial dodge. Everything is available to you if you have those, or it might be level 3 aerial dodge. But
that's interesting though, because this may not mean anything right now, but it could mean something later.
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh yeah,
that's a. Oh, this is Keyblade Randomizer. Golem could have anything. I was thinking, there's an XP boost, but it's actually a reaction boost, which is only really good in a very few situations, and I wouldn't say he's going to be using it anytime soon.
Yeah, I think like Horizontal Slash is really good, and he'll be using it for sure, but it's not something that Kai will like go to Roxas Road for. So so far he hasn't found anything like that Kai needs necessarily.
Looks like Kai's making a decision to go back into Port Royal as well. If I remember correctly, he was last stuck just outside of Boat Fight, so we've got Kasa heading into the Dusk Fight pre-Axel 2. He's got one more check and one more chest to pick up.
Yeah, honestly, if there isn't, if he doesn't find the last proof here, or if the promise charm, then I don't think this was like a super worth it play. I mean, he got something out of it at least, but it did take a long time. It might have been better to wait for limit. But it was, but I mean, there's no way to know until you check. So it was a risky play, but it just didn't pay off too well.
We'll just have to wait and see what happens. This fight's not too bad. Luckily, unlike the Data Axle fight, you don't need to remove the fire floor to win.
Okay, so Kai had a much easier time now. You got through it pretty fast and easy. So Kai has to go fight Barbossa now, and after Barbossa there is a lot of checks in the second visit of Port Royal, and all you need to do is beat the first Grim Reaper fight, and it's a pretty easy fight to do, so Kai might come back in and do that to get some checks after, but we'll see.
Is there any indication of who's ahead, by the way? A couple people have been asking that in chat.
It's really hard to determine whether somebody's ahead until more proofs are picked up. Basically, like if for example somebody picks up the Promise Charm in an odd location, that can put you ahead. But it's really anybody's race until one player has all the proofs and is heading through either the World That Never Was or heading straight through the doors to the final fight of the Promise Charm.
Yeah, I would say in terms of they're pretty even, because Kai had a lot of deaths that wasted time, but Kasa went to Twilight Town and it didn't pay off too well. So it kind of put them even, and Kai has Reflect though. And
the Reflect
so
is big.
Yeah, so I think Kai has some more tools. He's probably a higher level, I think. So he might have an easier time with some things at this point.
Kai is missing the Feather Charm though, which is like a very valuable tool in some fights.
Yeah,
Winner's Proof is a very good Keyblade, especially in randomized Keyblade abilities because it takes the no experience boost off of it, which means you can just get like a very good ability on there. We'll probably see him check it after Barbosa.
Witness Proof is the highest magic stat Keyblade in the game, I believe.
Yeah, highest at 7.
Yeah.
With a strength stat of 5, which is only 1 below the next. Is it 7? Is actually the highest on Fenrir?
Yeah, I think so.
So it's 2 damage in strength below. It's a very, very good Keyblade, but you don't use it normally if you don't need to because it's got no experience on it. That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
So what Kai wants to be doing here is using his Blizzara to freeze Barbosa. He's got enough finishing pluses that at the end of each of his combos, he can apply a Blizzard to Barbosa, which completely locks him out of the fight. Like, when done right, Barbosa won't even get a chance to retaliate.
Yeah, so essentially you just want to freeze him, do some hits, and then freeze him right when he gets unfrozen. But I think what happened there was he did his Blizzard a bit too late after Barbosa was unfrozen, and so he wasn't able to freeze him before he got hit.
The main thing to take into account is keeping Barbosa within the moonlight. If he drops into the shade, then it's going to be the end.
Oh, yeah. And
we'll see him free sleep here.
Casa is in Timeless River. I don't think either of them have won here yet, right?
They both initially stopped before Mini Escort.
Yeah, so, I mean, maybe there's something good here. We'll see.
We're still waiting for Kai to check that winner's proof as well. I'm interested. I'm invested in seeing what ability is on there.
Yeah. TR, Timeless River is a pretty easy world, but it's pretty slow to get the last few checks. So after you get the chests, doing the windows and then fighting Pete, it can take some time. So we'll see if Costa decides to do it, or if he decides to go somewhere else.
Drive Converter on winner's proof allows, if Master Form is found, some very, very quick checks.
That's an interesting ability to have on there.
It's unfortunate because he probably wants to actually pick up money throughout the run so far. Because otherwise he's going to have to grind later for ethers, but it could have been better for him.
Yeah, that is one thing. You get a decent amount of ethers throughout the run, usually, because every party member tends to come with ethers, and you usually get money in like certain worlds to buy ethers. But sometimes you might not get so lucky with like ether drops and stuff, so you want to have as much money as you can.
What we do see here is Kai making use of the Magnet Burst ability, which is kind of a substitute for him right now for the traditional Magnet spell. It's not as good, but it's definitely going to be a big help.
Oh, this is scary. Okay.
Yeah, that was tight. That was actually a bit worrying there, but he got the RC.
Oh, I used to have this.
Catch him. There you go. Yeah, that's done.
How many checks were in Timeless River again? I think y'all said 7 or 8, something around that.
There are 7 chests in Timeless River. You get 1. Is it 1 check from Boat Pete?
I think there's 1 Boat Pete and then like 2 after.
Yeah, I think there's 2 for the Pete fight.
Or actually there might be like, yeah, there's like 1 Boat Pete, 1 Windows, and then 2 after. So he's doing Windows. This might work out. There's a decent amount of checks.
We'll have to wait and see if he can get through. Like, the Pete fight isn't the easiest fight, depending on what you've got, but he's got enough abilities going for him that he should be able to get through it.
Oh yeah, he doesn't have Reflect, so I think Reflect is really good to have for Pete, but because he doesn't have Reflect or Trinity, he might have some issues there.
Yeah, so as somebody mentioned in chat, it's 7 chests, 1 from Boat Pete, 1 from the final Pete fight, and then Monochrome and Wisdom from Disney Castle. So there's a good few checks still to be had. Also, these limit form on Kai's side. That's big. Limit
he
form
got
is
limit
very
form?
very strong. He did, yeah. He picked it up
Oh,
from tunnels in TT3.
That is super big. So now, if Kai were to go to Roxas Road, he would save like minutes, probably upon like on Casa, because it just makes Roxas Road way faster. But it's also just really good for a lot of fights, like Demix, for example. You could use limit form, or even like harder like end game fights like Roxas and stuff like that.
So this is this is going to be one of the deciding factors on who pulls ahead here, because Timeless River is it's not a huge time sink, but there's definitely quite a lot to do. Kai is currently picking up all of the chests in TT3, of which there are a great many that I honestly couldn't count right now, but he's got all of the ones down here at Sunset, he's got all of the ones up at Mansion that he can pick up. He then opens himself up to a leveling area for Master Form, Final Form, and General leveling, which is, if he finds something good here, this is going to be him set way forward in the fight.
Oh, Casa got Stitch. He has every summon now.
Stitch is very, very helpful. That's going to help him if he wants to go through core, or it's going to help him in final fights as well.
Yeah, it's Casa's definitely got some, like more summons, like the summon advantage over Kai, but Kai now has the drive advantage, so it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, so we've actually got Kai heading up to the Mansion fight now, which can be quite hard, but he's got Chicken Little, which is going to give him a lot more time in the fight.
Yeah, this fight can be it's not like too hard, because Mickey will he can like knock all the enemies away from you and keep you safe somewhat, but it can be really slow if you're not a high level. So Casa fighting Boat Pete. You want to have a high strength stat for... Oh, he got Magnet.
Ooh, there's the Magnet. That's big.
Nice.
And Fantasia, which is actually like useful.
Oh wow, that was like vanilla Fantasia too.
Yeah, that was.
I sort of seen Comet there, like half randomizers have it there. It's like really weird. But
this fight can be sketchy, so we'll have to see how he handles it.
Yeah. I would say Casa and Kai are about even now on their on what they have, because Casa's got the Magnet, Kai's got the Reflect. Casa has the summons, Kai has drives.
It really depends on what Kai finds here in Twilight Town 3.
Yeah, and one thing that's nice about doing the Mansion fight when Kai is that it gives you a lot of EXP. So he was able to level up a little bit here.
It's another area that people really like to have Final Form for.
Yeah.
So another thing to note actually is a lot of these fights will sometimes give you bonus levels. Bonus levels are HP increases, drive increases, accessory slot, item slot, armor slots, and what have I missed? Have I missed any of them?
Oh,
no,
sorry. What was that?
I was talking about bonus checks, bonus abilities. So
yeah.
HP, MP, all that kind of stuff. Those have been shuffled as well. So a fight that would normally give you HP could just give you an item slot. So you never really know how much HP you're going to have throughout an entire run.
Yeah, item slot, HP, MP, armor slot, accessory slot, drive gauge, MP. Yeah, that's about it. And Promise Charm. Oh, okay. Casa's in the lead now.
Okay, that Promise Charm is like a pretty
That's
big.
huge.
Yeah.
That's
Now
pretty huge.
Casa just needs to find the last proof, and he can pretty much head into fights. He'd definitely want a reflect if he can get his hands on it, but he's going to get one eventually through leveling anyway.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So that was definitely worth the Timeless River check then, from what I can understand.
Yeah, 100%.
That's
Wow.
about a half an hour time save throughout the last fights, depending on how good you are.
That is a wild place to find something like that.
It's really, yeah, like, seeds are so often very different. you don't often find yourself doing identical things every single playthrough unless you start like fully optimizing how fast you level and such. So you'll find things in crazy places.
We've seen Simulated Twilight Town and Timeless River. What is there really left for Casa out of checks that you just are kind of obscure or you don't want to go in necessarily? Because I think that's the kind of approach Casa's taking here.
I would say probably 100 Acre is one that like takes a while.
Space Paranoids is another one.
Yeah, Space Paranoids can take a bit.
Solar Sailor in Space Paranoids is kind of not an easy fight to get through. It's got a very specific time gate where you can't let the glider you're on fill up with monsters with Heartless, or you lose. But there are 6 checks behind it and a boss, so.
Look at what Kai's doing right now. I heard this one's kind of a lengthy check here.
So, yeah, doing all this opens up Land of Dragons 2, which opens up Throne Room as well. And as everybody always knows, Throne Room is always stacked, so there's like Throne Room has how many chests? It's four on the upper level, 4 on the lower level. So there's like 8 checks that you can get from there like really quickly. The only thing you have to be able to handle is the Riku fight. So whether he goes all the way through to Throne Room is going to be another thing, but Kai is a very big advocate for Throne Room. We might see.
So it is probably the best place to check for a second visit. So like most people end up doing OD1 and then going to Throne Room, and then leaving before Storm Rider is the boss. I think for Casa, like he's only missing one more proof now, so like the bad spots it could be in is like MCP, like any second visit boss, because people usually hold off on finishing second visits because of how long the bosses can be, and not there being many checks behind them. And if it was behind like the final page of 100 Acre Wood, then you would have to find every torn page and then finish all of 100 Acre Wood, and then just to get that last proof. So it could still take him a while.
They have 2 air combo boosts off Keyblades. That's really strong. I think I saw 2 off Keyblades. Yeah, I did. Because it's air combo plus on Ultima Weapon.
Yeah. Talk to Donald by accident.
He's always walking around just where you don't want him.
Yeah.
So I would assume we're more than likely going to see Kai heading through the Throne Room now. There's a lot of checks. I don't think he'll go for Storm Rider yet, but there's a possibility.
Oh, it's usually use Mulan's Limit. It's not bad. It wins the fight.
Yeah, it's going to get him through quite easily with like little to no difficulty. So this is one of the things we were talking about earlier, where like each limit in the game has like a lot of uses, barring Jack Sparrow's. Unfortunately, his ability is a bit tame compared to everybody else's.
Oh yeah. So I'm guessing Casa's going to finish up Port Royal. I don't think there was anything good here that Kai got.
I don't know what was on the Mysterious Abyss, but he doing this fight, like if I don't quite like Kai could have easily gone through Grim Reaper 1, for example, and headed into Seafoam Cave. I think it's Seafoam Cave. It's Seafoam something. But he could have gone to the second area and picked up a lot of chests there. We should see him do that at some point, but Casa might just go straight through to that. We don't know.
Yeah, as I was mentioning, like the second visit of Port Royal has a lot of chests if you go past Grim Reaper 1. The fight Grim Reaper 1 is a pretty lengthy fight. It's not like difficult, but it just takes a long time. So it makes sense. I see why Kai held off on it, but Casa might go get it.
Yeah. We'll have to. He has got Magnet here, which is actually going to be quite helpful.
Yeah, for sure.
Except when they're in the shade and they miss.
Sakai got Peter Pan now.
Yeah, if he needs to beat something like Syx, that's going to be really helpful.
And now he's going to Lion Dragon, so yeah, he's gonna go all the way to Throne Room. I don't think there's any checks before Throne Room, so like when you go back here, you just go straight there.
Yeah, I don't think there's one on the Riku fight, or the mysterious figure fight, or whatever they call it, but we all know who it is. Come on, game. This is another thing that could like set Kai ahead massively. If there's anything good in Throne Room, he's going to be at a point where, because Kasa has done, I think he did Shan Yu. I think I remember seeing him fight Shan Yu.
Yeah, he fought Shan Yu for sure.
I mean, Kasa could get straight back here if he wanted to, but whether he does that anytime soon is anybody's guess.
Yeah, I don't think this will be easy for Kai either. Riku is very powerful, so I'll be impressed if he does this first try.
He wants to get as many of the RCs as he can from the little flying Heartless. They're going to be a lot in dealing damage. The speed traps are very, very strong.
He does have limit form though, and that's really good for this fight.
He could just abuse MP Rage from limit form to constantly use stuff like I forget the name of the ability now. I always just call them like dash limit and stuff like that, because here we go.
Yeah, Sonic Wave, I think.
Yeah, I think it's Sonic Wave, but dash limit is more fun to say.
It looks like
so he actually just opted for another Sonic Wave there. But whilst in limit form, if you take a hit, because you've got MP Rage, you're just going to get that MP back, and any limits you cast, you heal yourself equal to the amount of, or by a certain amount, equal to the amount of damage you do. So you can just kind of like loop limits by constantly getting hit, and then using a limit to heal, and then getting hit and using a limit to heal. But he knew how much damage he had done, so he just finished the fight instead.
Yeah, and he was able to level up limit form, and he was able to get Wishing Lamp from it, but it had no experience, which is like the worst ability to have. There's no point in having that.
But luckily, Wishing Lamp is one of those keyblades which is like not always super useful anyway. So it's better on that than it is on, say, like Ultima Weapon or
for sure.
One of the longer, like Fenrir, for example, could be very disappointing. But we're going to see him head through the Throne Room now. There are a couple of forced fights he has to do before he gets there, which can be a bit dangerous. But he's got Genie, he's got Chicken Little, and Stit. He's missing Switch, sorry. He's got Feather Charm, so he should be able to get through these relatively simply.
Okay, so he's opting to use this. I forgot the name of this. Like something rocket. I don't think it's gonna kill. Isn't it
just Red Rocket?
It might be, yeah. Yeah. So these enemies have a lot of HP. They probably have at least half HP still. Oh, he's doing 2. Okay. I think you're really safe.
I mean, most of these enemies are going to do multiple hits, so the second chance he has isn't going to do him much good.
Yeah.
It's smart if he wants to avoid taking extra damage to just get it done.
Alright, he got the bow towers out of the way. If he knows how to handle the assault riders, it'll be fine. But they can be pretty scary. The nice thing about them is that they only have like one multi-hit move, so his second chance will kick in. It looks like he'll probably have this. I don't see him dying. Also, Kasa is fighting hyenas.
Yeah, this is a risky play again. Kasa's making a lot of like win-lose scenario kind of plays.
Yeah, this is definitely something that I don't see Kai doing. So, but
there's only 2 attacks left in this world.
I think it's only 1. It might be 2, but I think there's like only 1 after doing hyenas and Scar. So like,
there's fire from. There's the fire check from Scar, and there's a check from Groundshaker, right?
Oh yeah, in second visit.
So he's got 2 left. He's got 2 checks left.
Yeah, so like this is usually like most runners will finish this last. Like this is the last first visit that they'll do. But Kasa's doing it like really early, I would say.
It does open the way to things like Titan Cup, is it?
Yeah.
Which is something he might look to do now that he's already completed OC1, so he could head to Cups if he wanted to.
That's true. I think it's so like the cups in this game. You need to finish Agrabah, Halloween Town, Pride Lands, and then also beat the world that never was to unlock every single cup after OC2. So each cup has 2 checks behind them, and there's 4 cups. So some people will end up doing the cups really early to get those 2 checks, but I don't foresee Casa going there because it's pretty difficult right now.
We have a question from the chat saying, has anyone touched Space Paranoids yet? I believe we saw it briefly, but I don't think we got into too much of it.
We've had both players go up to Virus minigame, I think.
Yeah.
But we also just saw that Kai, I don't think he really found anything in Throne Room.
Oh man.
Unfortunately, this time it's stacked with nothing.
Another question, are Hades cups on?
Hades Cups are not on. Nobody really wants to do, is it 50 waves of enemies?
Yeah, it's 50 rounds.
no, thank you. It's an option. If you wanted to play with Hades Cups turned on, it's an option. So if that's your thing, absolutely, go for it.
And apparently nothing in Throne Room there. That makes Casa's gamble here look a little bit better.
Oh yeah, I mean...
We're gonna have to wait and see how this gamble goes, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's... Oh, he DM'd again. Oh no, he didn't, okay.
Yeah, he got it, nice. The HP increase is some runners would say good, some runners would say bad. It's harder to get into XP boost territory, but they're not anywhere near doing that yet, so... Oh, that's
a potion? Oh no. So yeah, that didn't pay off too well.
You don't like to see that happen.
You hate to see it.
You hate to see it.
So it looks like Kaza's going to finish Agrabah.
Oh, the same as Kai. That's funny.
Oh, that's funny.
Are they both on Falling segment?
I think so, yeah. Casa hasn't done, I guess, the Cave of Wonders yet, but...
Oh yeah, he's not even been here yet.
Yeah.
No, the runners are not allowed to watch each other's streams. We try to avoid spoilers at all costs here. Otherwise it'd be a co-op run. That's a little different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Although co-op runs are a thing, from what I can understand.
Co-ops are often the preferred form of racing for most, of at least the older players in the community. There's a lot more intricacy to how the game is played in a duo run, or because you cover a lot of checks a lot quicker. So you often find yourself spending less time on a seed than you would normally.
Yeah, co-ops can be really fun. Someone can go to Twilight Town 10 minutes in, go unlock the final form grinding spot. If they find EXP boosts, they can just level up to 50, while the other runner is doing first visits and stuff. And you can just split up a lot of things. Someone can do Atlantica, while the other person is doing 100 Acre Wood. So there's a lot of cool routing to do in the co-op.
This is one of the fights that can be quite hard, the treasure room fight that Kai's on right now. There are multiple ways to deal with it if you don't have the necessary abilities. I mean, Reflect is incredibly good, as he just saw it just killed 2 of the fat bodies immediately. But Aladdin has a... Kasa's getting very close to that Reflect now. He's only 3 levels away, so we'll see that soon. Aladdin has a limit called Speedster, which is usable. It's very good, but it's one of the weaker limits. It's nothing to be scoffed at, though.
Yeah, it's usually a last resort type of thing. Kai's actually going back to Treasure Room because he's going to grab 2 chests that unlock there after you finish the fight. So I don't see everyone do this, because you kind of backtrack a lot just to get those 2 chests, but they are there.
People forget about them, which is the issue. I find that if I don't go back to them straight away, an hour later, I won't even remember they're there.
Yeah. Olympus Stone. And, EXP boost. That could be really big, actually, for him.
XP boost, he's done Twilight Town too, so he could go through into maybe the world that never was and force final form and go do some leveling. We might see that.
Yeah, that is the thing. Is that at this point in the game, it might seem more tempting to try to force out final form because, like I said, it can take upwards of like 5, maybe 10 minutes. But final form is such a good thing to have right now. See, Casa just got anti-form. If he was really lucky, like a 1% chance, he could have maybe had anti-form show up there. I mean, sorry, final form.
That's unfortunate. That dark form, the anti-form really, really put him back there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not too certain how quickly we'll see Kai going through Timeless River because he really doesn't like Timeless River.
Oh, really? Does he not?
No,
Well,
he does not.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't.
Go on.
Oh, I was gonna say I don't. I just realized that they don't have like Kai doesn't have that many first visits to do anymore. He just has like Halloween Town and TR pretty much. But
And
like,
Space Paranoids.
oh yeah, Space Paranoids is a big one. But he's almost. I mean, he's gone more than half of the first visits done, and like Pride Lands isn't one that you would usually do at this point.
At this point, I would probably say that for Kai especially, Space Paranoids or Disney Castle are the two best checks he can go for. There's not many checks left for him in Halloween Town, and Space Paranoids has a lot of chests and a few boss checks, and Disney Castle has not only the Promise Charm, which he's yet to find, but a hell of a lot of chests, so we might see him taking one of those routes next. We'll have to wait.
Yep, and I've seen the proof show up behind Lords a ton for some reason, so let's see if it's here. Nope, doesn't look like it.
There's still a pop-up. Oh no, yeah, there's nothing there. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, so he...
Yeah, here we go. We can see him going
Okay.
to Disney Castle now. That's a good play. Like, if he goes all the way through to the end of Timeless River, he's going to put himself back in the... back into an immediate strong point. But it's going to take him another 20 minutes or so to get through to that section.
Yeah, that'll take him a while. He hasn't done escorts yet. So he's gonna... Casa needs to find that last proof pretty much within the time it takes Kai to finish up TR in order to have a secure win.
We already know there's nothing behind Twin Lords though, so we'll just have to wait and see where Casa takes us next.
Yeah, he also doesn't have many first visits to do either. He might end up doing... I would see him doing like SP maybe next, or maybe Halloween Town.
He's also got to get his way to Twilight Town 3, so...
Oh
we
yeah, that's a
can
good
see
point.
Twilight Town 2 now that he's got Magnet. But we could also see Space Paranoids. Nobody's attempted the world that never was yet, and there's a lot of checks there. Like, even though Promise Charm is on, like, it still very well could be behind Zenmus 1.
Yeah, there's a lot of checks in that world. But Casa has been playing like pretty differently. He's been doing a lot of really high risk reward things. So I mean, I don't know. He might go to 100 Acre Wood or something.
Something should hopefully pay off eventually.
Yeah.
Alright, let's see where he decides to go now.
Oh,
Okay,
he's
yeah.
going. He's going to 100 Acre Wood.
This is a fair play. He's got a lot of... I think he's got 2 or 3 pages on him right now, so... Unfortunately, it is just repeat checks that we've seen Kai do. Like, they have about the same number of pages, so...
Yeah, so we know that there's nothing great here. I don't think there was anything good for Kai.
Not that I can recall.
Yeah, so it looks like they're probably both going to even out after Kai finishes TR and Casa finishes up 100 Acres. So it's just going to be where they go next and where the proof is.
I would love to see one of these guys hit Space Paranoids next.
Yeah, I'm really curious what's there.
And I do want to point out it is possible that the last proof is either on a form, I believe, on like a leveled up form, or just leveled up in general.
Yeah, it's very possible still.
Yeah, so they only have 2 forms, and we haven't mentioned it yet, but in order to level up your forms, you need more forms. So, like, with 1 form, you're able to get to level 4, and 2 is 5,
3.
and so
It's
on.
1 plus 2. It's form plus 2.
Oh, okay, so it's 3 and then 4, 5, 6, 7, yeah. So you need all dry forms to get to level 7. So right now they can only reach level 4, right?
3 for Casa, 4 for Kai.
Oh yeah, I forgot Costa doesn't have limit yet. So
There's another taunt pages for Kai. I think he's ahead in taunt pages now.
oh yeah, and I think the next one is Cave, which is a big one. I wonder if Kai will actually end up going there next. I think he might.
Spooky Cave is like 5, is it 4 or 5 chests, and then 2 checks behind 1 or 2 checks behind Pooh. It's a lot there. Like it's very, very doable right now.
Yeah, especially if you've done 100 Acre up to that point, it's a very good spot, a very good thing to do.
So Kai's gonna opt to pick up these chests pre-Boat Pete, which sometimes people do, but that might be him dipping out of this world now if he's picking these up now.
I hope
Which would be a big loss for him.
Yeah. I don't see him doing it because he's pretty strong now, and I mean he finished off Agrabah and other worlds.
That taunt page might change his mind though. So
Oh, he's
no,
doing
yeah, it looks like he's doing doors. So we're going to see Kai finish this place and pick up his promise charm as well. So it's going to even out soon.
Yeah.
And these guys are doing almost identical checks. It's one of them just needs to break free and find something.
Yeah, I mean it's a really even race so far. It could have went it could have been way different. Like they could be someone could have 2 proofs and someone not have any, but they've been like really even.
I mean, Kai's got 2 experience boosts, so I'd be really surprised if he didn't go and try to force final on level soon.
That is, yeah, that would be really good for him to do as well. The thing of like level grinding in the rando is that it takes a while to level grind, but after you level grind, everything is faster. So not only do you get the level up checks, you get final form checks, but then you can also progress through like everything without dying. Everything is just naturally way faster. So it's pretty good to do if you want to like put in that time investment.
I do want to point out too, because I've seen a couple of people ask me because of the nature of my other show, Mercy Kill. No, we are not cutting them off at 3 hours tonight. If they need a little extra time, they need a little extra time. I got no issues with that.
Hopefully we'll have them done relatively soon. But they need 1 more item, or Kasa needs 1 more item, and then he's set. So whether he goes through to the final fights at low level is another question, but he's capable of it. Especially with a chance.
This seed could be a pretty decent seed if they find it in first visit still. They just have like SP to do, I think. And Halloween Town.
I mean, Space Paranoids is the next best check in my opinion.
I think so too, yeah.
I mean, there are so many chests. There's the Photon Debugger check from Hostile Program. There's 6 chests after Solar Sailor and the Solar Sailor check itself. If you really wanted to hurt yourself, you could do MCP, but there's only really one person who loves MCP. Shoutouts to K-Hyped.
Oh, does he?
It's his favorite boss fight for some reason.
I didn't know that was possible.
I think it's a fun fight.
Oh.
It's that's a controversial opinion.
I could understand why. I just always had enjoyed it.
It's just it's a very dangerous fight.
Yeah,
especially
like on critical
scan.
mode. Yeah, on critical mode, if your strength stat isn't really high, which I think randos you tends to have a higher magic stat, but like you want a high strength stat because otherwise you'll MCP take like it can take upwards of like 10 minutes, and it's such a hard fight that you could easily die like 9 minutes in and just waste a lot of time. So Casa, I think he's on his last minigame right here. He might actually, I think he has Spooky Cave. Because the one after this is
he had 2 pages, and I think he picked one up, so yeah. We're about to see Kai find his first magnet as well, which is going to change his routing as well.
Oh, I forgot Magnum was here, that's true.
He's also got every summon, so we might see him opt to enter Core soon, or go back to Demix to get through to the Final Fantasy fights and 1K fight.
Core would be an interesting play as well for Kai.
He's got enough drive form, and he knows the strategies to get past things. The only thing he's really missing is an aerial dodge.
So, I gotta ask y'all, where is Sephiroth on, like, the things you don't want to do if the MCP is considered bad?
Sephiroth is, like, for this seed, is turned off, unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
Okay. But it's one of those fights where there's only really one check behind him, and that's the Fenrir check, so you're very unlikely to have to do it.
Yeah.
It's not an easy fight.
Yeah, but I've seen some Sephiroth seeds. It's pretty crazy. Like it's definitely not something you want in a seed.
It's preferred not to fight it, but if you have to fight it, that's just rando for you, right?
Yeah. He is a really hard fight, so you probably wouldn't.
And guard. Guard is a very useful ability to have. It's not necessary, but people love guard.
He has both negative combos now, correct?
Well, Fenrir might have something else on it.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
But Fenrir being a 7 strength Keyblade and being incredibly long could take... Like, if it has a good ability on it, it's a very strong Keyblade.
Yeah, also those beasts gave him a bit of trouble.
Yeah, they would not play game with them, would they?
Oh, does Casa not... Oh, never mind. I was gonna say he doesn't have a magnet, but I think he does. Right?
He does. He got it from Timeless, from Boat Pete.
Yeah.
He just didn't use it there. There's the first aerial dodge, and there's the Promise Charm on Kai's side as well.
Nice. So now they're pretty much tied up, unless Casa finds the proof right here. Oh, Kai's going to Hollow Bastion. Wait, is he actually doing core?
I would say it's more likely he goes back to where I just missed those checks. He spammed through them so fast.
Oh, he's doing core. Dang.
Yeah, I mean, he's picked up the magnet. He could definitely get through the first fight now. Especially with Chicken Little on his side.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say this is like an easy thing to do though. Because he doesn't have an explosion. Yeah, this is like
it's very hard still, but it's possible. He's got aerial dodge level 1 now, so he can pick up a lot more checks that he's missed.
Oh, did you see what was on Fenrir?
No, what was it?
I didn't see. That's what I was asking.
Oh.
I'm not sure.
Well, we've just had Casa enter Space Paranoids, which makes me pretty excited, to be honest.
Yeah, this is one of the last like big chunk of checks that we haven't seen yet.
This is 2 big chunks of checks we've not seen. We've got Core and we've got Space Paranoids. Mm-hmm. So, like, one of these races is gonna pull way ahead now. It just depends on whether who's making the correct play.
Yeah, this core play is pretty risky, honestly.
I mean, Kai's got the skill to pass it though.
Yeah, he does. Core actually has a higher chance of having a proof in it because you cannot find any growth abilities here. So there's a less of a chance of less things to get here. So higher chance of a proof. And there's a lot of chests in Core. It's just very difficult to do. It's like the hardest enemy fights in the game.
So something to note on Casa's side actually. He didn't spend as long there as I thought he would, but that particular fight is very, very good for leveling early. If you're a low level and you've got Stitch, you can just Magnet Thunder those guys until the cows come home. You can do so much leveling, especially if you have XP boost.
Yeah, and also Casa got Duck Flare from that fight.
Ooh, Duck Flare is very, very good.
Yeah, it's just a really good limit for Donald.
And it looks like we're seeing Casa go all the way through the hostile program as well.
Quick run, that's good.
He's got a high enough glide that the quick run isn't going to be as used as often, but it's great. It's still good.
Yeah. There's 2 more chests and then hostile program, and then I think there's 2 checks behind them.
Hostile program, and then you've got second visit, which is Solar Sailor and 6 chests, and then MCP. So
Right.
whether he goes there is another question.
Yeah, I don't think he will, because it'd be pretty hard. Is Kai? Oh no, he's at the beginning still. I was like, I saw him die once to core.
He's taking it slow.
Yeah.
Reflect is about the only way to get past these cars safely because they're unaffected by magnet and they have a HP threshold where they'll start doing their like panic phase where they drive around super quick. That can just one-shot you. Like I don't know particularly. I think it does multiple hits, but it goes through second chance, so it's a little bit spooky.
Yeah, this is this is really scary for Kai. Kasa's probably gonna have an easy time for hostile program. He's pretty strong at this point.
Hostile program shouldn't be an issue, especially considering he's got horizontal slash Coliseum taking.
Oh no! He didn't have aero recovery, so
yeah.
He was just stuck in the air and he had to get hit there. That was unfortunate. And Kai with the death.
That's unfortunate, yeah. Well, that's at least no time save on either side.
Yeah.
We might see Kai dip out soon because this is a sketchy check, but you find a lot of players who go into core with a mindset of I am going to beat this fight, and you just get dragged into I was so close, and the next thing you know, you spent half an hour wiping to this fight alone. It's scary, but if it plays off, it plays out, you know.
I would say that is the mindset for like that can happen in a lot of fights. Like earlier on when he was kind of stuck on timed fight and boat fight, he could have dipped much earlier, but he came pretty close each time. So it's just hard to know when to check something easier or to just keep trying.
And there's Stitch's stun lock taking effect there. It's very, very useful. I mean, I think Stitch here is a smart option over Chicken Little simply because Kai doesn't have access to anything like Explosion right now, so...
Ooh, yeah, Kai might...
I mean, Chicken Little would help him deal with the Shamans quicker. I don't think I want to see Kai wipe here for very much longer. I think he needs to move on.
I do too. I don't think this was a good thing to do so early. I was really surprised he went here. But I mean, if it's here, then I mean, it just would be worth it. Even if he took like half an hour here, it might be worth it if it was here. But
so the big play here is Casa going to re-enter Space Paranoids and head through to Solar Sailor? Doesn't look like he wants to.
Oh, so he's finishing up first visits. I agree with that. I think that is a good thing to do.
Yeah, he's still got Prison Keeper to do.
Finishing off all of the easier things.
But there's not many checks left for him. He's got Prison Keeper, which is a check. He's got Presence and Decoy Presence, Oogie Boogie, and Experiment. So depending on whether he goes through to Halloween Town 2, which he can, because Experiment is made very easy by not only Duck Flare, but also the Feather Charm. So we'll have to wait and see what he makes choice of.
I have a good feeling about this one on Kai. He only has 2 more Heartless left. I think this is a win. Yep.
Yeah, there you go. This should be fine.
Oh.
Stitch will reflect that, so he's got no problem now. I think this is him moving on to Mineshaft.
Nice. Yeah, so that I mean, maybe this was worth it.
Yeah, we're about to see whether this plays out or not. I mean, they both are in very similar positions. It's just going to take one play, and one player's going to take off, and that'll be it.
I would also say that the first fight of Core is the hardest one. The second one is nowhere near as bad, so we'll probably finish up that one as well.
I think a lot of players would agree. The first fight is harder just simply because of the cars and the ghosts and the shamans. Actually, they're all awful. Like the
Yeah,
bats
they're-
are the only easy thing in that fight.
Yeah, for sure. So,
And that's
Casa.
Prison Keeper down for Casa.
mhm.
Only a mithril shard from that check, which is unfortunate, but
Yeah, Halloween Town. There isn't that many checks after you get the chests in Winterland, whatever. I forgot what it's called.
Hinterlands.
Hinterlands, that's right. So Prison Keeper and Oogie are like pretty slow to do, so they're usually done pretty late.
There is a change to the randomizer specifically actually for the Goa mod where Oogie Boogie is one cycled now. Once you drop him from his platform, he doesn't jump back up to the platform. You can just kill him. It's a quality of life improvement. Nobody really likes that fight, so it's sped up that fight exponentially. That's
Oh,
light and dark. Light and dark
oh.
is big.
That is really big. So now and a magnet. Okay. Nice. So I would say this was worth it now that he got that. He can get final form. He can force out final form really quickly, so he'll probably do that as soon as he gets out. And magnet is huge, especially for core, which he's doing right now. It'll probably help out on his fight a lot.
There we go. I think I showed him that one the other day actually, how to get underneath that easily. One thing to take into account is light and dark, which he just picked up. Just as Nintendo said, he can force final form now. For people who don't know how light and dark works, normally it's on the Keyblade 2 become 1, which you would get from Roxas. But because its form blades, Keyblades have been randomized, that's now been taken off, and he can just equip that in his inventory like any other ability. Essentially what it does is it forces you into anti-form, with giving you the percentage chance that you drop into final form instead. So we're definitely going to see him force that soon and pick up that final form, because he could go straight into Twilight Town 3 and level if he wanted to. It's a hell of a lot of checks. You've got all of the form checks and all the level checks.
Oh, that was an unfortunate death. He was so close.
The dropping the summon was unlucky, I think. I think he's better off leaving and coming back when he has his summon gauge back, because if he loses that summon early, he's just going to die.
Yeah, that's true. I do think he'll be able to do it this time, though. It shouldn't be too bad. As long as he can keep them in the magnet, like Stitch will usually ukulele if he gets hit.
I do prefer Chicken Little for this fight, because it draws the mages down to you and keeps them in place a lot easier. But as long as Stitch does his job and heals his mana, he'll have no problem.
Yeah, I would personally, I wouldn't use Stitch unless I had finishing. Well, he does have finishing buffs, unless I had like finishing leap or explosion or something. But I mean, it's working pretty okay for him. I guess he's more comfortable with Stitch.
That's another great thing about the randomizer, is you're going to find so many ways around things that you're comfortable with, and something that works for you isn't going to work for everyone. Like, you might see somebody like Kai here, like, breezing through fights with Stitch, and you might absolutely not get the same effects, so it's all about testing the waters and see what works for you.
Yep,
And
and
this magnet play is very smart, though.
That's good. He got through core, and he should be able to get the last chest as well, I think. I'm pretty sure you can get the last one. So this conveyor belt room is actually really annoying. IMO. There's like conveyor belts push you back. There's like these pipes that let out like steam that hit you, and without area recovery, it's even worse.
Ooh, that's explosion. Explosion's big. Explosion's probably one of the best finishers, if not the best finisher in the game. Strictly down to the fact that it has so many iframes and so many hit frames.
Oh no!
That's unfortunate. And it's taken off your magic stat, so the two best, in my opinion, would be Guard Break and Explosion, and Explosion definitely takes a top spot for me personally.
Yeah, and over on Kasa's side, he's gonna pick up Limit Form if he hasn't already. I think he did, so that's good.
I think it's this check here, isn't it? or one of the two. He
Oh,
might have
might
missed
have
it.
been. Maybe he did. I don't know. It was down there, right?
Yeah, it was in tunnels.
Well, hopefully he finds it if he hasn't.
Guardian Soul could have anything on it. Could be interesting.
Oh, okay.
Reaction, it's vanilla.
It's vanilla, yeah. He doesn't have AP. I think he has AP boosts. Maybe?
I think he's got enough form gauges to get to the final chest as well.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm pretty sure he can.
Because if you have a low-level aerial dodge, you can just use a high-level high jump. I don't know if he knows how to get through this section, though. I think he does.
Well,
I'm pretty sure he does. Yeah, he knows what he's doing. He's got this.
Oh, nice. Yep.
Yeah, so easy. The glide level 3 kind of carried him through that part.
And for high potion. He got a lot of things from this core though. I think it was pretty worth it. Like he got good things from it.
Well, if it comes down to a race through the final fights, then Explosion's definitely going to set him ahead.
Oh yeah, he'll have a much easier time with that.
We've got Casa heading through into TT3 now as well, so...
Even with Magnera, like Magnera and Explosion go hand in hand, he's gonna have a really good time.
Especially considering he's got the finishing pluses.
Yeah, he has 2 of them. Oh, he might finish up Hollow Bastion now.
Explosion, I wouldn't be surprised because of that. Like, he can get through damage much easier now. He's got so much damage.
Actually, I just remembered. I'm surprised he didn't go to get Final Form. He has the ability for it.
Yeah, I mean, he should. I guess he wants to, instead of like having to skip Weld so much, he doesn't need it for this fight. It's helpful, but he can just use Wisdom Form for the same effect. And he definitely can't use Final Form in Final Fantasy fights or 1K, so it's saving time if he doesn't. There's the reflect on Casa's side.
Yeah, Casa finally got the reflect. Took him a while.
I know that he's saying, oh my god, there's a reflect here. That's just Casa. That opens a lot more for Casa though.
Yeah, it does, for sure. So, let's see if Kai has a good time on Demix. I think he should be able to handle them just fine now. He's got Comet. So we can't see how much damage the Explosion is doing, but their magic stat I know is pretty high, so I wouldn't be surprised if it's doing a lot.
Yeah, it's going to be big damage for sure. The iframes also lets you... yeah, see, it's so much easier. The iframes on it let you sometimes dodge Demix's RV as well, so... In fact, RV is something that has not been explained yet. Do you want to explain revenge values, Ninten?
Yeah, sure. So a lot of humanoid bosses in this game have a system called revenge value, which is basically it stops you from being able to like stun lock a boss and just hit them infinitely. The more hits you do on a boss, the higher their revenge value will go, and when their revenge value hits a certain amount, it's different for each boss. They'll retaliate. So since we know the revenge value of every fight, or at least it's all like public, like we know how to find every RV. We're able to do specific combos and have really optimal fights because of it. Like we can make Demix do retaliation and then reflect immediately after. So we wouldn't be able to do that unless like we knew exactly when they're going to retaliate.
It's a super important thing to know about retaliation values or revenge values, whichever one you want to call it.
Yeah, and it's not like I would say for Rando, it's not as important because there are other strats like double negative combo, Fenrir stuff that can just bypass revenge value. But in the any percent speedrun, like the base speedrun, it is super important to know.
We are seeing this magnet explosion you were talking about as well, which is only available through the finishing plus he has. And he might as well use limit form here to get a bit of XP on it before he goes into final fights. Because this fight can be dangerous, but you can also just fly up into the corner if you want to avoid the fight entirely and let Cloud finish it. Wouldn't be quick though, so it's definitely advisable to not do that if you can.
Oh, Kasa's going to Throne Room now. Nothing good here, but it is a good place to check.
It's a solid play from Kasa's perspective, but we know better.
Yeah.
I love that I've just seen the estimated time has just jumped an hour. That's a good shout.
This is not a fight against the timer, so I did that to encourage people.
That's a good shout, yeah. It's getting there. This race should be entering a time where they're going to be hitting. There's only so many checks left, basically.
Yeah, they've gone past a lot of the, like almost all of the really fast checks, so pretty soon they're gonna have to start getting like really slow ones, like bosses, some second visits.
That was an unfortunate death to Summit Riku. Got clipped up by the little birds there.
So Kai's on 1k, and this fight's actually pretty hard without once more. I know he doesn't have once more yet, so if he can very easily get comboed out of the RC, because you see that they wind up and then shoot out lasers just like that. Oh my god! If he got hit one more time, he would have died.
One thing to take into account here, actually, with Kai on 1k, is there are more checks here than he would have if he didn't have the Proof of Peace, because with that he can check the Organization Mushrooms, which is an extra, I think it's 2 checks, is it? It's 1 or 2 checks.
Yeah, it's 2. It's 2.
Yeah, because it's Winner's Proof and something, and the Proof of Peace, isn't it?
Yeah.
So he can actually check those now, which is going to be more than he would normally get. It's quite nice.
Yeah, not only do you get the checks from beating 1k, but you also get to grab the Gold Wing chest and the chest in the Heartless Manufactory, I think it's called.
Heartless Manufactory, yep.
Yeah.
And the Gold Wing check.
Yep.
So yeah, there's a good few there.
Oh, but like I said, this isn't an easy fight, and now he's stuck in the air. Okay. He might be fine.
He just has to rely on these Sparkle Rays to deal most of the damage.
Yeah.
You can
He's in
actually
the
spin your
corner.
camera to make sure that you throw the... This hopefully is fine. Yeah, you should be fine. You can spin your camera to try and throw the lantern in a better direction, but it's a bit rough to do, like, especially considering there's a slight input lag how they're playing right now, so...
Yeah, there is a lot of like manipulation you can do to optimize the fight, but it's pretty complex to do. But he's on the last 100 here. I think he'll have it.
Unless he
doesn't
misses a
miss.
grab like that, yeah. That was close. I thought he was going to miss that. You can actually miss the reaction command to grab the lantern.
Oh no! Okay. Okay.
Oh, no, yeah, that's fine. There are so many HP orbits on the floor that he could just pick them up.
And nice. Oh wait, what is Costa doing here? Oh, he was just finishing off. Okay.
I think he wanted to revert, but he just wanted to get a final limit in to get an extra XP to his limit form.
Yeah, that's smart.
So we've just seen Kai finish off 1k fights. He's now got another 4 checks he can pick up before he leaves his place. So he'll be going back now for the Heartless Manufactory, the Gullwing check, and the Mushroom check, hopefully.
Yep, here's going. So I would say this isn't in a quick seed for sure. This is they've gone past a lot of the very easy checks now. There aren't many fast ones to do.
I mean, the other thing about seeds like this as well is seed times can vary like massively from just the random choices you make. For one person who might take the checks, the exact checks they need, it could be 2 hours. For somebody who misses them, it could be 6 if they're not careful.
Yeah, that's one thing is that like if it ends up being in like Grim Reaper 2, like defending a Port Royal 2, somebody could have just like Casa could have just went
Oh,
there.
there's once more on Casa.
Oh, was that a level up?
That was the level up, level 25.
Okay, so Kaya probably got it really late, I think.
Kai picked Shield, right? He won't get that to level
Yeah.
46.
Oh wow, that's really bad. He's probably never gonna get it then.
It depends. He's got Twilight 3 open. He could level if he wanted. It would take him.
He hasn't gotten Final Form too. I wonder if he
Yeah.
just forgot. He might have honestly just forgot about it.
I think he looked at it, but he might have just forgotten.
I'm just surprised. Like I think people usually just get Final Form like immediately after they get it, but he hasn't gotten it yet. It's been a while.
I mean, he's not had a chance to go force it, so he's kind of been in between doing Final Fantasy and 1K, where it's kind of hard to do, and then he's just picking up Manufactory, Gullwing, and Mushrooms. So we might see him head out to maybe the world that never was to force it quickly.
Yeah,
I'm
that's true. He
interested
might.
to see where Cass going after this.
Casa is going to.
Oh, he's
He's
trying to
thinking.
decide. Yeah.
You've
Wait.
you've been there.
Wait, is he gonna do Data Rock? Wait, no, that's not in the seed. Never mind. What is he doing?
Oh, he might be going to level limit form.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
It's risky, but he also missed the easier place to do it.
Yeah, he's been doing a lot of risky things, honestly.
The easiest place to level limit form is probably just before Data Roxas, which he's not gone to.
Oh yeah, that's true. I wonder where he's going.
He's probably going to the bridge. Yeah, he's gonna spawn them up here. Okay.
Okay. I've never seen it anyone do it here, but
Yeah, this works.
yeah.
He can't get it very high. He can only get to level 4, so we'll see what he decides to do. But this is another product of the randomizer. He has to respawn that monster every time, which I don't think is what he wants to do.
Also, Kai went over to. He's going over to Spooky Cave, so he'll. I know Casa got some good things here. I forgot what he got though.
I know he picked up Fenrir, but I can't remember what was on it.
Oh yeah, maybe he didn't get anything too good.
Nothing particularly on his tracker that would. He's better off spawning the mobs underneath there. He might just leave. Like, this isn't like a super smart play right now.
Yeah, but I mean, if it's the next level of limit, then I mean, it would be. It's just like high risk, high reward thing. It looks like
People are saying it was combo plus on Fenrir, so that's a bit sketchy.
Yeah, it probably isn't anything good for Kai here. They are kind of running out of options. I think that probably a good spot to check is like Port Royal, everything after Grim Reaper 1. After you beat Darkthorn and Beast Castle, there's actually a really easy check to get on the second visit, which is a Rumbling Rose check.
Yes. I mean, there's also the central computer, which they could check in MCP, outside MCP. They've got Rumbling Rose, they've got Ground Shaker, but whether anybody decides to go there is another thing. We could see Kai go for Twilight Town, Simulated Twilight Town anytime now, but
Yeah, if Kai ends up going there, then that's gonna be huge for Casa because we know there's nothing great there. It will be a big time sink for Kai.
this is a much better place for Casa to be leveling limit. This is fine, but you're much better off going back towards where you fought Axel, and then you can head through the back door into like where you'd normally walk into where Sora's sleeping in the pod. That would just take you to the station of Awakening, where you can fight Data Roxas.
Yeah, so
that's
for
where it summons some samurais to grind instead. It's much easier.
For this seed, there is no absent silhouettes or data fights, but the rooms to access them are still around. So each world has a room that was replaced with the Station of Awakening, and in the Station of Awakening is the nobody representing the boss they're about to fight. So that actually helps us with form grinding, because the one for Luxord has a bunch of gamblers, and those are really good for leveling Master Form really fast. And then there's Roxas World, where you can use drives infinitely. So instead of trying to level limit in like the Agrabah mushroom, which is the best spot in the base game, you can level it up in the Station of Awakening.
The Agrabah mushroom is still the best place for Valor form, though. So
Yes. Valor form is probably the worst form to level up. Hopefully they don't have to do it.
I wonder what we're going to see people do now. Kaza's got a few choices. He might head into Port Royal 2.
Oh,
which
he's
is
going to Port Royal 2.
Okay, we're going to see Kai go and take the Rumbling Rose check now, I think.
Yeah, and then Casa doing Port Royal 2. Port Royal 2 has a lot more than Rumbling Rose, because Rumbling Rose is only like 1. But, yeah. We'll see.
Like, every single one of these plays that we're seeing them make now has been different to what the other player has been doing. And every single one of them is a nail biter, because it just takes the one person to get the right play, and they're ahead and they've won, you know?
Yeah, because they have the Promise Charm, whoever finds the proof next is probably just going to win straight out. They're probably strong enough right now, I think, to not Death Cycle anywhere in final fights, and they can level grind too anyway. So
even then, like, I don't think they need to. Like, Kai's got the advantage on having Explosion and Final Form, but Casa has once more, and Kai's not getting that until level 46.
yeah, that's true.
So that's kind of scary. Oh, well, Kai's going to get access to a bulky vendor here, which is a free 3000 XP.
Yeah, it's not bad.
I think it's 3000? I can't remember. I think it's increased in the Station of Awakening.
It might be. I know it might. Yeah, it's around there.
It's XP. It's free. Like, that's all we need to know.
So here we go. This is where the check is.
Talk to Beast. Get kicked out. Talk to Beast. Don't know why they did this.
Dark Shard, AP boost. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so that was unfortunate, but he's checked it now, and he could go all the way to Zoldan. Zoldan's not too difficult.
Wait, is that what he's doing? It might be.
I think so. He could have left from Beast Room.
Yeah, I think he's gonna do Zoldan.
I prefer Casa's play here. He's got to check on GR1. He's got to check behind Cave Mouth and all of those things. Not Cave Mouth, Seafoam Cave. Like, he's got a lot that he can check here, and Kai is he's checking those weird checks that people don't do. So if it plays off for him, that's going to be great. But we'll see what goes on.
Zoldan isn't an easy fight either, because he doesn't have once more. So
no, but he can just use Mickey to get past it.
That's true. Yeah, he hasn't actually used Mickey, has he?
He's used Mickey once, I think.
Okay, yeah, but it's still fine. He'll probably be okay on him.
Chances are he's going to pick up a Mickey again. We're seeing Casa go through Seafoam now, so we'll see if there's anything here. Guard Break is big. That's his first combo finisher.
Oh yeah, that's true. That is really good for him. There's 3 more chests here now, and then that's pretty much it for PR2. He could finish off Gamblers and then beat Grim Reaper 2, but that is a pretty decent time sink.
Especially without Master Form, that's going to be like a rough fight.
Oh yeah.
Although you could use Stitch to get through it, honestly.
Yeah, it would be pretty rough though. Ben, he didn't get anything, so...
Oh, Casa also got Trinity Limit.
Oh, okay.
We missed that as we were looking over at Kai's stream, so Trinity Limit is pretty big for him.
That is pretty big. Not like too many fights. I'm trying to think of like what he even needs it for now. I mean, it's okay.
He could use it against Roxas. He could use it against Zigbar if he wanted to go that far. Luxord.
Yeah, if he decides to go to the World Under was, it'll be really good.
Okay, he's opting to go into
Ooh.
Space Paranoids 2. I like this play.
Yeah, I think.
There are so many
Yeah.
checks for him to make here. There are so many checks.
Yeah, see, comparatively to like everything else he could do, there is definitely more here.
Another thing of note, actually, is the randomizer, or the Garden of Assemblage one in general, skips the light cycle the light cycle minigame. It's just another thing that people don't need to do. So, like, it's the same time for every runner. So why make somebody do it? And we've actually got Kai heading into PR2 as well now. So
Yeah, I think, I mean, Casa. I would say Casa's in the lead now. He's got a lot more things checked, I would say.
yeah. But again, we're just seeing Kai kind of follow in Kasa's footsteps because Kai's been making. Oh, there's a taunt page behind leveling.
Yeah, that's interesting. He might go finish top 3 then.
It's the
Yeah.
last one.
Y'all think there's any chance that Kai goes to Simulated Twilight Town?
It's plausible. There's
Yeah.
checks there.
It's
Mhm.
possible because it's actually pretty late. Like he's had limit form for a long time and he hasn't done it yet. Like this is pretty late for someone to do it.
He's also got final form access, so if he wanted to, he could get that up to level 5 and limit form in
Yeah.
Roxas.
That is another thing. He hasn't gotten final yet. I honestly think he just forgot.
Yeah, I think he's just forgotten about it. He picked it up at late in core and just kind of neglected to remember.
Yeah. Which is unfortunate because that is probably an advantage he would have over Casa right now.
Yeah, but Kasa's making new checks and Kai isn't, so like I have to put Kasa in the lead here.
Oh yeah, for sure. After he gets past this fight, there's one more he needs to do, and then there's about 4 chests.
6
I don't-
chests in Solar Sailor. It's 4 chests outside Solar Sailor, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, and then he there's no way he's doing MCP. Like I wouldn't expect him to.
He'll dip before MCP. There's no reason to do it.
Yeah. Honestly, after that, there aren't very many checks left that are like easy to do. They're just like Halloween Town, maybe Halloween Town 2.
It could come down to the taunt page. If it's on the taunt page, Kasa's gonna have to wait like another, I think it's 9 levels or more to get that. That could be
Yeah.
scary.
That would be bad for him.
I mean, Kasa does have auto final, so he could cheese his way to some early XP.
Oh, that's true.
Whether he does or not, but this is smart going through Solar Sailor.
Yep, as long as he can get through this fight. This fight isn't like it shouldn't be too hard, but the enemies do a lot of damage, so
I mean, he could just guard break Chicken Little his way through it, or Magnet Stitch. Like, it's not too bad.
yeah. And also Tron's in it.
And he's got one small, so that's big. That's such a good ability for him to have for this fight, because those multi-hits will just kill you.
Yeah, that's true. I did forget about once more. He'll probably have it now.
So it looks like he's opting for the Magnet Thunder, which is a very good like, that's a good play. Especially with Magnet Burst, that's going to make this fight very easy for him.
He's gotta be careful with these guys. Alright, yeah, he's on the last wave. There's 3 of these guys that spawn. Having base reflect is actually pretty unfortunate. Like the area around Sora that reflects is really small, so you have to be like right on top of the enemy to get the reflect off.
I mean, especially for Final Zemnis, that's going to make it rough to reflect those drive-by lasers.
Yeah,
But that's him through Solar Sailor now, so we'll see what's behind here. I think he got a fire boost from that as well.
yeah. I didn't quite see. It was pretty fast.
So he's got these 4 checks, and then Aerial Dive is very good. Master Form
Master
there.
form. Oh, okay. That opens up a lot.
Didn't see what that was.
Yeah, me neither.
And
Oh,
there's the
he
pre.
got it. Okay.
So now Casa's definitely taken the lead.
Yeah, I think he probably has this one now, unless he has to die a lot to final fights.
Casa has Reflect. Casa has Guard Break. He's got Horizontal Slash. He's just gonna get his levels here and leave.
Yeah, and then another thing is that Kai hasn't even finished SP. So
He hasn't touched SP. He hasn't done He's done up to Hostile Program and that's it.
Oh wow. Oh, he has Scan now.
Oh, he got that off the Detection Saber. So
No, he got it from a chest right now.
yeah, but there's 2 scans. There's one from base
yeah.
abilities and there was from Detection Saber.
That's right.
So this is what we were talking about earlier. Now that Casa has the Promise Charm, he can head to the Station of Awakening here and just get so much XP from these bulky vendors. We'll see if he opts to buy some. He could go to Twilight Town 3 and farm from some gamblers to make money to buy ethers, but he might not. We'll see.
Yeah, so Casa doesn't know, like, for all he knows, like, Kai is right behind him, so he might either play it safe and try to level up as much as he can and prepare for final fights, or he might try to go in and just speed through it.
I mean, central control core is not like it's not an uncommon check for people to make. A lot of people will move up to MCP and drop it, so
Yeah.
it's just we've got Kai heading into MCP now, into SP, so this could actually be closer than we think. It just depends on whether Casa levels to max to 50 or if he just goes and leaves early.
Yeah, that's the thing, is how much, and also if he does die in final fights, like, I don't think he will, but it can, I mean, we'll see.
He's got second chance once more, and Kai can get that before the final fights because he will level on bulky vendors if he gets there.
Yeah. And hopefully, I mean, if Kai ends up actually going over to the computer core, because he might just dip after finishing the first visit.
I would say if he did, that would be a misplay by my own logic. It would be like he's so far into the seed now that if he doesn't go up to control core, he's making a mistake.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's definitely missing out on checks that. I mean, he's also doing a bit of leveling here as well.
This is really good. This is really good grinding.
Yeah, this is super smart.
Wow. Oh, so Casa's just going to final fights now. Okay.
Okay, so Casa's heading into the final fights. We'll see how he handles. There are a lot of things you can do now.
Oh, this is insane. Kai's getting so much experience. He's like leveling faster than Casa was.
He's got 2 XP boosts.
Oh yeah.
And Magnet Explosion kills these guys instantly.
I think Magnet was one-shotting at this point. Oh, he's just leaving. Dang, I think I would have grinded more. He was going really fast.
He's got himself to about level 35-ish, I think. Like, he doesn't need to go anymore.
That's fair.
It's only going to get slower from there, and he can just leave. It might be impossible for Kai to catch up now. He's got so many fights to get past. He's got Hostile Program. He's then got to do Solar Sailor. He's then got to... He might not finish leveling. Like, he doesn't need to. But Casa's definitely got the advantage here.
No, yeah, that's the thing, is like if Kai ends up leveling before final fights, then it would, like, he definitely should have just done it back there, but hopefully he just goes through and doesn't.
And as we saw a little through the leveling, Kai did get Combo Master, but I don't think that's going to make a difference now.
Yeah, it's not like, it's good, but it's not a game changer.
No, not right. Not considering the position they're in.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Kai has Flash Step. I don't remember seeing him having it, but I know Casa was talking about not equipping it, so
I think
that could
Kai
be...
has it. I think he does.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Because that's going to make the final fights a little bit more rough if he can't get in on Armor's MS.
Oh, yeah.
Although Flash Step can ignore some of the attacks because of its iframes, so...
So Kai's doing a lot of damage to Hostile Program though, so it should go pretty fast.
We're seeing Casa opt to use Stitch here for this fight, which is smart. I mean, he's got 2 Thunder boosts, so Magnet Thunder is incredibly strong. And it's Magnet Thundara even, so... And this is like how swingy having a Promise Charm can be in this randomizer.
Yeah,
Like the moment
so,
you find that last proof, you're done. You're into the end game.
yeah. So a lot of people also opt to not use Promise Charm. Like a lot of more, I guess, experienced players, because without the Promise Charm, you just go through the Water River was starting from Roxas, and that would change up the race a ton, because then Casa might actually Death Cycle to Zigbar or Roxas a lot, while Kai might go through it first try. But with the Promise Charm, I think Casa has this.
Yeah, I just don't see Kai catching up now. I mean, Casa would have to Death Cycle to either arm the Xemnas or final Xemnas for predictably about 25 to 30 minutes, because that's how long it's going to take Kai to catch up to this point, I believe. Especially considering he's considering Halloween Town instead of Space Paranoids.
Oh no, he's not going.
Yeah, this is Casa's game to win now. Well, Casa's game to lose, should I say. It'll be very difficult though.
Yeah, this is definitely over, I would say.
Wait, did Casa not equip Guard Break?
Maybe I guess not. Yeah, I guess he forgot.
Yeah, Casa didn't equip Guard Break. I mean, that's fine, but...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the ukulele is going to heal him enough there to survive. He's got second chance once more, unlike Kai right now, so... Being on 2 HP, same with being on 50.
Another thing to mention is that Dragon Xemnas is not in the rando either, just like all of the other things that were cut out to be more fun and faster, like Light Cycle and Ogi being shorter, you just cut out Dragon Xemnas.
Nobody likes Dragon Xemnas.
Yeah.
The lack of ethers is going to hurt this endgame, but I think we should be fine.
Yep. Kai needed to go get the proof and then have Casa Death Cycle to like final Xemnas for a while, but it's not happening.
No, this... Look, the worst that I can see happening is a few deaths to final Xemnas.
Yeah.
But final Xemnas is one of the fights that Casa is very good at.
Okay.
At least from my own like experience viewing him play this game.
Yeah. Because final Xemnas can be pretty tough if you don't know what you're doing there. Because you can just, like, when he's in his second phase, it's really easy to like not know how to get damage off and just get comboed. He doesn't have many
with a low level of reflect.
Yeah. So it won't be like easy, but with second chance and once more, it makes it way better. Like if he didn't have once more, it would be a lot more questionable.
And if you want to pick, if you had to pick second chance and once more, I feel like you always pick once more. Second chance does not do enough for you here.
Yeah, especially for final fights for sure, you would want once more.
And oh, that was unfortunate. He might take a hit on these lasers. Oh no, he's got a high enough glide level. So one thing to take into account here is if you notice, just after Riku hits this building here, you'll see Casa do some aerial dodges in the air. If you aerial dodge immediately before the snowflakes, the little laser snowflakes, they won't appear. So you can completely skip that.
Looks like... Yep.
There you go. He's heading into Final Xemnas. And it looks like Riku is out of ethers as well.
So another thing to mention is that Final Xemnas will usually go into a thing we call Laser Dome when he is in his last bar of HP. But on the randomizer specifically, it was made so that you can skip the whole Laser Dome segment and just beat Final Xemnas straight up. Because usually it's a minute and a half that you're forced to do. But if you're able to catch him and stop it from doing Laser Dome, you can skip that, and it's a big time save. But it's really hard to do without scan because you don't know where Laser Dome is. So
that's unfortunate. So there is a correct pattern for this this intro like throw. You want to reflect the first attack, and then you reflect the third, fifth, and sixth attacks afterwards. The second and fourth are clones, so you won't actually do any damage to them.
yeah. We can't tell because no scan. but normally
But
one would
it
have them
definitely
as 3
gets. Also reflect the last one, because otherwise the vines can get you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think he just opted to heal to Ether Riki though, which is fair. As long as Riki doesn't spend all of his mana healing himself. So Riku's potion, his Riku potion ability, costs 99 mana. So he can just use it twice before he has to Ether again. It's very useful that he gets 2 out of that instead of cures 1. I mean, Casa does have limit 4 here, so...
Yeah, I was gonna say he has limit form as well, so... Now we're in laser phase. I'm pretty sure these reflects are actually not doing any damage, because it's so small, like, they don't touch them.
On the drive-by they are, but not on the circular hits, I think.
Yeah.
Like, it's not going to hit on this one. He can't even check which one's the real one.
Ooh. Yeah, this will take a while, but I don't see him dying.
Second chance once more, he's pretty safe, especially with Riku having so much mana for healing.
Oh, and Kai's an SP2 now, so he's actually gonna get the proof pretty soon.
Okay, yeah, so Casa very smartly, he didn't have any, like... He could have reflected, but he opted to limit here to try and dodge the grab. The grab, which normally he says, "Can you spare a heart?" and he picks you up.
Yep, that was it. He won.
Yeah, he got skipped. That's done.
Let me
That's
know when
Casa.
time's coming up.
That was
done.
time.
Casa's done. He's done. Time.
All right, we gotcha.
Yeah. That
Oh
was
wow.
that was a pretty good final summons from him.
He skipped Laserdome with no scan, strictly off the knowledge that he knew the grabs come at low health. That was very smart of him. That was a very good play.
Get your Jujis out for Casa, folks. What a race.
Yeah, that was pretty well done. It was actually pretty close the entire time, and even Kai is probably gonna finish up pretty soon here. I would say overall, Casa did make the better route decisions. He didn't die as much. It was pretty well done.
Casa,
Yeah.
30 seconds and talking to Kai right now.
Pardon me, sorry?
Casa will be here in about, he said give him 30 seconds. I think he's talking to Kai.
Okay, is Kai gonna finish off?
I mean, I guess it depends. We'll let Kai, find the proof, I think. I think Kai was interested in figuring out where it was, so.
He looks like he's on the way there now anyway, so.
Yeah,
he'll find it.
From the proof to the end, it's really not that long either, as Casa showed.
Especially with the Promise Charm, it's depending on how fast your final fights are, is going to be the thing.
Yeah.
Kai has a lot more. He has Explosion too, so that's going to speed up everything.
Hello.
Oh,
congratulations!
Here we have Casa. GG.
Oh, I had to rack my brain so hard.
Your final Xemnas was incredible.
Thank you.
Base reflect and then hitting that laser dome skip. That was good stuff.
I also tried to do the mini push. I'm like, I'm gonna get this. I don't care if I'm losing time.
It was a really fun race to watch. Congratulations again.
That was intense. And of course, it was in the one place I usually never check. And I'm like, I have a feeling.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, go on.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy. That went so well. That was almost that was an all world's first visit.
It was. Yeah,
Yeah.
you took our first road.
I had got to skip up all the world that never was. I'm so happy.
The seed wasn't so bad, honestly. Once you realize you have to come to Central Computer Core, it's pretty
I picked up
quick.
Master Form. I'm like, oh, Master Form grinding. But before I left, I was like, I'll grab everything and go. And then I saw it. I'm like, of course, there you are.
Yeah, and you did some really interesting plays too, like leveling up limit pretty early.
Going to Pride Lands, finishing Scar.
I was doing some things that people normally wouldn't do and seeing if it would net me anything. And then I got the reflect from the level up. I'm like, I'm so ready.
And there you go. Kai's just picked up the last proof.
Yeah.
Yep.
Did Kai have any inkling that may have been where it was?
No.
Okay, I was just curious if that's where Kai normally went, or if that was like one of those, maybe.
Those are one of those places that we try to push from our head, but we're like, no, maybe this is the time. It's one of those things.
It's really hit or miss on whether people go there or not. Solar Sailor can be really swingy.
Yeah, I got all 4 summons.
You did, yeah, really
you
quickly
did.
as well.
Yeah, I got like 3 of them within like 10 minutes of each other. I was like, oh, what do I do with all this?
I'm actually really surprised Kai still didn't get final.
Where was
Kai's
it?
had, he doesn't have final. He has light and shadow, light and dark.
Yeah, it was in Cavern of
Oh.
Remembrance.
Oh, okay, yeah, it's probably the one chest I couldn't grab.
No, it
You
was
did-
the
it's
he did all
past
of
the
it.
end. He went all the way to the end of Cavern of Remembrance.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, that was my next place to go if I didn't get the proof in Solar Sailor.
You would find a Guardian Soul with reaction boost, and light and shadow.
Yeah,
that's
and
about it.
magnet and explosion was there.
Oh, explosion is there. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
That would
was
have been
pretty
nice
good.
to have.
You didn't equip Guard Break either. I would have done that, but
No,
I
I
guess-
didn't even equip guard.
no, you didn't. But you don't need
Oh,
Guard for
yeah.
the final fights.
I was just like, I had damage drive on or something like that, so I got MP back. Oh no, MP rage, something like that.
Oh, what happened there? That was crazy.
I guess I could watch now, can't I?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, Kai's on his way. Actually, he didn't level grind at all. He's just going straight to final fights.
Yeah, I definitely level grinded. I was like, I think I need this, just a little bit of extra.
I think Kai's
I-
about the same level as you, actually.
Yeah, he did Cavern Remembrance, so he got lots of experience.
Yeah.
He grinded in SP as well.
I didn't. I was just like, let's just move on. And it was definitely the right choice for me.
Yeah.
Kai is lacking the once more that you found.
That I got from level up. Yeah, boy.
It is behind level 46.
Oh no. That's so mean.
But why not give your thoughts over the seed overall, Casa?
This was a good seed.
Really? Didn't
Yes.
look like it from someone who's watching it for the first time. I saw it going over the 3-hour mark. I'm like, this don't seem so good. But from your perspective, why was it good?
Because I had to do a whole bunch of normal plays that I don't normally go for. And I was doing weird things and just getting into places as fast as possible to unlock other things. Like, me finishing Pride Lands the way I did unlocked 3 cups for me. So I could have done all of those, including OC2 at the same time. And then if I had to do Goddess Cups or whatever, I could go finish Atlantica, I could go finish The World That Never Was. I just need
Not
to
that you
grab
needed
one
to
more
do
Thunder and
Atlantica.
Magnet. Yeah, well, I mean, to get the Goddess Cup, you have to, don't you?
No,
oh,
you
yeah,
don't.
yeah. No.
I
Do
don't-
I
I
need
don't
to do
think so.
Pride Lands,
It's just the word
Agrabah, Halloween Town, right?
Yeah, I
Oh,
think it's
okay
just
then.
Thunder Rolls.
Nice. But yeah, other than that, like the fact that we didn't know where any of the forms were for the longest time, it was like this sense of like weird dread. It's like, is it gonna be behind a form level?
Do you actually want to know where
Yeah.
Final is?
Where is it?
Final is actually behind Luxord.
Oh wow.
Oh, good thing I didn't go there.
Yeah, right. Valor form is behind Hades.
Huh.
So little bit sketchy on those two, but like I knew that you could get access to light and dark if you really wanted it, and you can just force it without it. So final form is always accessible regardless.
I mean, I
Yeah.
would say in terms of like tools, you didn't really like this seed was not easy because like the explosion was in a bad spot. Magnet and reflect were like pretty hard to get. The dry
Yeah.
forms were pretty difficult.
Yeah, and I did a lot of work there. I definitely showed off that I have like a good understanding of what I'm doing, and that made me really happy.
It was kind of funny because you were making like a lot of new checks, and Kai went all the way through 1K and then just started trailing behind everything you had already done. So it got to the point where like you were just so ahead from not visiting the places Kai did where there was nothing.
Yeah.
wow.
Oh, this is smart actually. Yeah, swap to a full screen of Kai. I like this. So we're gonna see Kai breeze through these final fights. I feel there's not much stopping
Oh
him.
yeah,
Like, the worst thing that
I
can
am
happen is lacking
super
one
happy
slot.
that I was able to show off Dome Skip.
Yeah,
that
that
was
was good.
And I did it scanless.
Yeah.
I mean, that was just your knowledge of how much damage you were doing previously, and the section where he grabs Sora.
Yeah.
Knowing that's relatively low health when he does that.
Yeah, exactly.
It was super
Oh, no,
smart
I
when he
think-
opted to limit instead of reflect. That was impressive.
Yeah, I was just like, gotta go.
If
Because I
I
know
were
he has
in your
like.
shoes, by the way, Casa, I would have been starting to check the seed number at the 3-hour limit because, again, you knew clearly what you were doing to see if Atlantica was included. That's how much I was getting kind of frustrated in my own mind with all the checks you were doing.
Yeah, I definitely didn't leave Atlantica on. So
if it wasn't in the computer core, then it would have been looking kind of bleak to me. Because like then there's only like Agrabah 2 maybe.
Yeah, because that was the only place that had chests in my mind after
Yeah.
this. Like you saw, I was just grabbing chests and leaving. I was out.
Yeah.
Because I could always come back when I'm strong and kill the bosses on my second visit later.
oh, somebody
It was Sky.
going to see Kai.
hmm
I guess seeing if he wants to be brought back in for final fights or something.
Yeah, just final 7 this now for Kai. He should finish in the next few minutes.
Yeah.
The sketchiest thing about this seed when I was making it for you guys was the reflects. Honestly, like they are dodgy.
I would have done the fight without reflect if I had to, because I know I can.
I brought Kai up. Hi, Kai.
Welcome back, Kai.
Hey.
I think he's focusing on reflex at the moment.
Yeah.
Oh, no ethers.
He's got a hell of a lot of defense though, so he should be fine.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
He's also got scan, so
Hello?
hello.
Hello.
What's up?
We're watching you.
Oh, he also picked up the guard and equipped it, which
Yeah,
is
I
going to
know.
make like some of these lasers much easier.
Yup. He did what I didn't.
I died to Port Royal a lot at the beginning.
Yeah, yeah, you did.
And I was like, dude. I was like, what is happening? Oh, I just died to Zenith. Alright.
Oh, we don't have once more. I forgot about
Yeah,
that.
I have second chance. I don't have once more. Alright, I'm good though. I got it.
It's easy to just make one small mistake and it kind of backfoot, like it ricochets from there with those lasers.
Yeah, but
man.
when I was dying to Port Royal, I was like, this is not a good first impression for people who haven't heard of me before.
Well,
No,
you're
you played very well throughout the
Played
seed.
well. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought after I got over that, like I was like, okay. Then I thought I was playing pretty well. I felt good about it.
It's pretty
It's not
impressive.
live anymore, right? Like I'm just
No,
finishing.
it is live.
No, it's still
Yeah,
alive.
we're live.
It was very impressive to do core. When you
Oh,
did
I
though.
thought that it ended after one person finished because y'all said that you didn't have to.
It's up to you. You could drop if you wanted to.
Yeah, I'm not going to though because I'm at the end. I had a feeling that it was in SP2. Like, Costas was like, oh, I'm entering final fights, and then I was like, huh. And I was in Space Paranoids at the time, and I was like, I bet you it's in this world.
Oh,
But then it wasn't in the first visit.
Oh.
And I was like,
That was
I doubt he
crazy.
went into the second one. But he did.
Nice.
No, you both were tied for the duration of this seed. I mean, every now and then we'd get a little bit of a lead one way or the other, but y'all were very close for most of the time.
Uh-oh.
oh, this might be it. Oh,
Yeah, it got to a point where like the person who won would be like whoever made the smartest next play. It was so close. Like
Ooh, I died again.
oh no.
I got
I
caught in
see.
the air.
like either one of you could have taken it just by doing one thing, which is exactly what Casa managed to do.
Yeah, and you can see how this fight is not easy when you don't have once more. Or yeah, when you don't have once more.
Yeah, I got lucky. I found it.
once more again? Refresh my memory.
I don't
Level up.
actually.
Once more was level 30. Was 25 for Casa?
Oh,
Yeah, I had a
okay.
feeling it was a
Once
level.
more was level 25 for Casa. You picked Shield, right? Rakan?
Yep.
Level 46 for you.
Okay, yeah, I definitely would not have gotten that far.
The game rewarded me for not having reflect the longest time by giving me once more.
Yeah.
Whoops.
I want to thank you again for inviting us to do this. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
was super
Yeah.
fun.
Thank you.
I'm
Thank you
glad
very
you
much
all
for
had a
having
good
us all.
time.
I hope that we all made a good enough showing of the game and didn't mess anything up.
Well, somebody in chat had said that most playthroughs of this randomizer they've seen on YouTube are like 5+ hours. It looks like, I don't want to jinx it or anything, but it looks like you both are going to pull in under 4 hours. That's really good considering. So,
Yeah,
letting y'all be hard on
especially.
yourselves, alright?
Both Kai
Oh,
and
right.
Casa are very good players. Like,
Oh, this might be it. Never mind.
Oh,
I thought that was gonna be it.
oh no.
Oh,
This is it.
this is really intense.
No, it's not. Oh my goodness. I could have sworn that was it.
Oh yeah, that was.
It might have been safer there just to drop in session.
Yeah. This fight's
want-
very hard without once more.
Well,
It
not
is.
only is it hard, this is on critical mode. This is on the hardest difficulty you can have in this game.
Yeah.
I am honestly surprised I didn't die more. Especially in some of the places I went to.
Yeah, you did really well with surviving everything.
Okay, I have an idea. I'm changing up my strategy a little bit.
You got this.
Okay, limit form.
It's like what Casa said though. This is a tougher fight without the once more.
Yep.
Oh yeah, it absolutely is.
Now you see where I made some unwise choices before, because that was amazing.
Oh, did you?
Oh,
Yes.
wow. That was pretty good.
That's
Nice
two dome
fight.
skips on one stream. That's really
Yes, I was
nice.
just hustling you guys. I knew that I should do that the whole time. I was just letting it marinate, you know?
Congratulations, Kai. That was very well played.
GG.
Big GG to
Beautiful.
both our runners today. That was incredible.
We were 10 minutes apart. That's not bad. That's not bad at all.
Mm-mm.
How far apart was it? 10?
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
About 10 minutes. Yeah, that's it. That's very short given the nature of this randomizer.
It is.
Yeah, usually, like, you can be apart in this by hours with
Yep.
other people.
I mean, take into account as well that like that was 10 minutes with a couple of deaths at Final Zemnis. Like that could have been so much like quicker if you would have had that once more.
Yeah, definitely.
That's what you get for taking shield. But at least Throne Room was stacked.
I wasn't.
Even if we could go on.
I do want to remind everyone, please follow all runners and commentators here. They all deserve your follow, especially after the wonderful commentary and running we've had today. If y'all want to plug yourself one more time, please feel free to do so.
You lead.
For sure.
Okay.
My name's It's Casa on Twitch. I do lots of these kind of runs. I'm also a speedrunner of things like Birth by Sleep and a weird game called Super James Pond, so take a look at that one. Yeah.
Are you mad?
But yeah, if you're my main majority is Rando right now.
Kinda always thought you.
All right, and I'm KaiBlade13. I mostly do Kingdom Hearts 1 any percent, but I also do a lot of randos, and I am part of the randomizer league that we have going on right now.
Yep, and I am Ninten. I run a lot of games. I've run KH1, 2, and 3 before. At the moment, I'm focusing on KH1 any percent. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm Honeydiz. I play a lot of randos. I used to speed game, not so much anymore, but I'll pick that up again soon. So good content to come, hopefully.
Well, thank you all on behalf of GDQ. Thank you all so much for being here. This was such an awesome randomizer to watch, and I would definitely love to see it again at some point in the future. So good.
Definitely. Thank you again so much for having us.
Thank you,
Thank
guys.
you very much for having us. It was a good fun.
Absolutely. Exclamation point RNG again, one last time if y'all would like to go into the Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix Randomizer Discord. Looks like a fun time, looks like a great community. Would highly recommend. All right, folks, I believe that does it for us this week. But real quick again, Random Number Generation is brought to you by viewers like you. If you'd like to support the stream as well as the other programs on GDQ Hotfix, please consider subbing to the channel. If you have Amazon Prime, remember you do have a Twitch Prime sub. Please consider using that if you have not already to sub to the channel. Tomorrow night, I'm going to be here again. We're going to be doing Mercy Kill. Very much looking forward to that. Join myself and the Dragon Feeny as she runs Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past for the first time in quite a few years. That's going to be at 7 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. Remember, the SGDQ 2020 online games list and schedule's out. Go to gamesdonequick.com for more info on SGDQ 2020 online. If you're interested in other Hotfix shows, you can head to gamesdonequick.com/hotfix to submit games or ideas for upcoming shows. So again, folks, thank you so much for all of your support. We will be back with RNG in August, and that episode is currently being scheduled right now. So again, please, for more info on the GDQ Hotfix, go to gamesdonequick.com/hotfix. We will be back here 7 p.m. Myself, the Dragon Feeny, tomorrow night. Mercy Kill. It'll be Feeny versus the Timer on Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. Y'all take care, and we'll see you back here tomorrow for Mercy Kill.